quieter, please?
Welcome in, everybody. Ignore that image on the screen, Lamau. I need to also get Cat registered.
That was us a couple of seconds ago.
All right, cool. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the return of Call of Cthulhu Rapture. My players are all giggles and laughter right now, but we're about to get into a very tense situation.
No, we're not. I'm mad at you.
No, I have
one of my
session. Remember, it's the birthday rule.
One of my coworkers, I was giving them shit. They're just like, "Nick, you shut your whore mouth." I was just like, "Okay." I was just like, "Yeah, that's the vibe I give people." I bring a sort of sarcastic vibe that people don't like. Oh, excuse me, I don't want to hear myself twice.
That's a mood. That is the biggest streaming mood.
Same.
One of my coworkers. All
That
right,
was
so
me going, oh shit, I need to mute my computer, pressing it and going, no wait, that was on you. And then just...
oh, we're off to a good start. I like
This is gonna be a
Fantastic.
long
I love the chaotic energy we
I'm
have.
so sorry that was really
It's a good
mean.
energy. Good energy in the gym.
Shut up. Anyway, so we're gonna start with the recap since it's been a while since we last played. Who would like? I'm gonna go ahead and say whoever contributes to this recap. This can be a recap of everything that's happened so far. Well, however you would like to do it, dash it up. I will give you a free reroll. No devil's luck or anything like that. No pushing. It's just a straight up free reroll. If you contribute something that I believe is good. So I would like for you to start from the beginning, however.
Oh,
so
right,
that's my ask.
Shit's fucked.
Yes.
Oh.
No.
That's great. That's copacetic. That's definitely exactly what I asked for. Go ahead and give yourself free rerolls. Actually, no. Fuck you. Give me something. Give me something of substance.
So, starting off, as we had actually started here, Dodger, the nurse in the hospital, actually was basically at ground zero, as it seems the dead are rising and attacking people as zombies, as it be sometimes. People don't think that it'd be like that, but it do apparently. They managed to get out of the hospital, and they eventually found their way into meeting Hannibal. That's me. Who is a psychopath who has already killed multiple people. So that's been going great. But Hannibal actually was starting his day, went down to a department store, A zombie wandered in and killed somebody. There was some shooting that happened. He met up with a cop who's a total moron. Clifford the big dead cop.
Oh god.
And then
The big dead cop. Don't you
And
start me
then-
off.
I guess I'll put that up
went
on screen.
to try and rescue his sister, Sylvie. His sister is actually a actress who was supposed to be having their, I believe, film debut, but a major film role as Mina Harker in Dracula, if I'm not mistaken. And that was, of course, ruined by the zombie apocalypse, because that tends to ruin things. And Eddie was coming off of a shift at the train yard, went home to see that their friend was, talking about the dead rising from the earth and all that horrible shit and zombies. And so they loaded up and trekked out. Now, all of these groups have been just missing each other. Thankfully, Hannibal was able to be reunited with Sylvie and was joined by Dodger. They went to check on some friends of Sylvie's. However, they got separated again because Hannibal was left behind. And now they're dealing with the mob, and Eddie's there. And Hannibal, who is off with I just had his name and then I lost it. Oh my god. Who am I with?
Don't help him.
Jimmy.
No.
Nailed it. So nothing else, Jimmy.
Yep.
The thing is, we're trying to get a truck full of supplies out, but some freaky cultist, gang member, mafioso, weirdo, just fired off a gun, which is calling down a horde of zombies toward me. So everything has been absolutely flawless. 10 out of 10, no problems, killing it.
Hell yeah.
That was amazing.
That is definitely worthy of a reroll.
That
Something
was
tells me I'm gonna need it because I got a fucking zombie horde up my ass.
Oh yeah, you're
yeah,
gonna.
I was thinking that Alec was the one that probably needed the reroll more than.
Yeah.
I say that we are in with the mob right now, so
We'll
Yeah.
be fine.
I will
That's
add, you did
You say
try
that.
and convince them to let you go and try and fetch me.
yes.
But
We tried.
Look, I
don't
feel
want-
like
They don't
Sylvie,
want Dodger to go.
Sylvie and they don't want Dodger to go because they think. I mean, apparently Dodger is the person that's going to cure everyone.
That's my plan.
And Sylvie learned that Dodger has a number of PhDs that, that she had no idea about. And thinking that, oh yeah, she's a nurse.
She doesn't know much.
Right now,
That is
Hannibal-
not what I said.
right now, Hannibal has a decision, and that is to be or not to be. I mean, that is the question.
That is.
It's
That's
whether
a
to
legitimately
noble
good
the mind, over the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, take arms against the sea of troubles of my opposing, end them.
Alec,
I know the whole monologue.
Alec, you can take the re-roll away. Stop.
Whatever. I got a zombie
no,
horde coming on me. I'm gonna die anyway. So,
Okay.
but yes, he just fired a gun in the air, calling down a zombie horde toward me, which is where we had left off.
And we're about to get a guided tour, so we're in a significantly better place in some ways, but in others, it's kind of worse because our enemies have minds and are intelligent.
I
So they-
And
forgot
have
you did
guns.
that.
That's the big one.
Oh yeah.
and they have a
Uh-oh.
lot of guns and firepower and power.
At the
so-
moment, at very least, I can say that Eddie has been spending most of this campaign turning his mind towards trying to get a train ready to leave town, because as far as he's concerned, it's probably the only way to safely leave town. The roads are probably clogged. Who knows how safe anything else would be. There's probably no boats coming back, but a train we can get on a track. He's been trying his best to get us set up with that, which is the only reason right now why he and his friends, at least his actual friends, not the party, we haven't gotten close enough to call each other friends yet, are alive at the moment, because they're planning on getting that set up. I cannot remember for the life of me what deal Sylvia and Dodger struck up. I know Dodger's a doctor, or sorry, is as equivalent to a doctor now. No one's gonna be
Nurse
debating your fucking
practitioner?
medical degree at this point.
No.
There's several.
But-
You mean?
Exactly.
Sylvie and Dodger struck a deal. Much at Sylvie's pushing, she was pushing it to get as much out of the mafia as she possibly could. But basically, they're going to go off and find Hannibal and Jimmy. But they're taking a squad of mafia goons with them because they're not allowed to go off by themselves because Dodger is too valuable. But at least she's allowed to take Dodger with her. I feel like there was some negotiation, and
Yep.
it's not ideal, but it's something. And we're going to get some medical supplies today as well. So
Yes.
Might
I need to
need
refill
them.
my bag.
uh,
I want
That's
to
fair.
refill.
Okay. That is a pretty good recap from everybody.
Even though I just shouted shit be fucked.
I mean, yeah.
you summed it up nicely.
Well, that's my thing. My whole thing is the shortest review possible for things.
Well, brevity is the soul of wit.
Yeah.
Hey.
Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and give Art a reroll because it's Art's birthday. Everybody say happy birthday to Art. Happy birthday.
To you.
No, don't sing that. I'm gonna get in trouble. That's copyrighted.
No, it's not copyright anymore. It's public domain. You're
Public
good.
domain.
It just turned public domain a couple
Now,
years ago.
The reason we shouldn't
Happy
sing it is
birthday
because the birthday song sucks.
Does it even count if we're all singing really out of tune? Well, if you are singing out of
Oh
tune.
my god. You all started singing at different times, so it was like 5 voices just attacking me at once. Like, oh my god.
It's perfect.
My whole brain just fucking melted.
Oh my goodness.
Hi guys.
Oh. Okay. I'm back in the room.
All right. Well, happy birthday, Art.
Thank you very much.
Where do I begin?
Dodger has a nice time. The end.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. That's your birthday gift. I'll have your characters just brutally killed. Let's see here.
What? No.
Huh?
Your gift is a new character sheet.
Right. All right.
Well,
I like the way you think. Okay.
Oh, thanks. That's what I've always wanted for my birthday.
Okay. So, I am really conflicted where to pick up because there's so many good spots to pick up. I think I should just pick up with Alec because, like, that's exactly where we left off, and it's been a month, so I think we should just pick up with the shootout.
Got it.
Shootout.
Now, as he fires again, and I can hear all of them, my immediate thing is I know that Jimmy, I just had her name too. What is wrong with my brain? Good God. Anyway, I know that they're back at the truck trying to get all the supplies, but have they made any progress to try and maneuver it out of the alley? Like any progress at all?
They have just begun. You hear the engine turning over is like not too long after that gunshot goes off.
Okay. I'm going to rush back as fast as I can. Be like, leave it. We gotta leave now.
Yeah, I know. I heard exactly what you heard. I'm working on it.
No. We need to leave now.
Yeah, I'm working on it, Mac. It says he was like gesturing to the truck that he was like halfway in and the door was wide open.
I'm going to firstly open up the door to the cab and put the cat inside because I still have Sylvie's cat.
Priorities.
Please,
No, it is
if
a
you could show
priority.
the art of Jean-Pierre.
I needed to know that Jean-Pierre was okay.
Understandably so.
And then I am I have my 30-06 with me, so I don't need to move my car. It's out of the way of the alley itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to try and let Jimmy try and get the car angled correctly. I'm going to try and get behind the truck so I can, I guess, start shooting if I need to shoot. Otherwise, if I got to grab both of them and shove them into my car and get out of here, I'll do that. But I'll try and cover him, I guess.
Okay. I'm pulling up my notes. What is the name of that NPC? Oh, that's gonna bother me. What
Yeah.
is her name? I don't want to have to go back and watch the VOD to find out her name. I know it's here somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, good lord.
I'll probably, like I said, I'll keep Jean-Pierre's cage down in the cab of the truck though, because I feel like it's probably gonna be the safest place. But if I need to grab it and run, then it's not like tucked away. It's just in a place that ideally they shouldn't be able to get to.
Right. Let me see here. Okay. As you're like quickly moving things around and so the back of this truck is completely locked. As we previously said. So getting into it is not possible, so you literally just have like the front seat essentially to work with.
Is there a handle on the back of the truck for me to hold on to?
Yes.
There's a loading deck and a handle for me to hold on to. Because the alley goes both directions, right? Like into a street on the other side, or is this an enclosed space?
This is you're gonna have to make a 5-point turn to get out of this alleyway.
Okay, so in that case, I'll be up front, and not the fastest, but I'll have our NPC, whose name I can't remember, sit in the cab with Jimmy, and I will be kind of moving until the truck is like really out of the alley and I can jump in. But I'm going to be moving around if I got to run to my car and drive out of here, and shooting if I see enough people, but ideally just trying to hold off. Do I see a massive group coming towards?
Her name is Fiona, by the way. I found it finally. So, digging through my notes. Yeah, there is a massive coming from the few entry points of this alleyway. So essentially, what this alleyway looks like is there's the store, there's like a wide open alleyway, and there's 3 different points to where you could escape, but the truck is not going to fit through 2 of them. You have one way out, so that's why it's going to take a 5-point turn to get out of here because you are pretty jammed in. And Fiona is not insisting on sitting while everybody else is working, and she does have that shotgun, and she plans on making use of it.
Right. But if groups of them are coming from like every entry point,
yes, they are.
Shit. I'm gonna point to Fiona. You take that trench gun and you keep our entryway clear. I'm gonna go and make sure they can't get in behind us.
She'd nod and she'd like hit the lever on the back of the shotgun, just like check and see to make sure there's shells on it, and she'd nod and she'd go and head over. And
I'll, like I said, I'll hang on to the handle behind the truck and try and I'm not gonna shoot. Actually, would it be better to draw them to me? Probably. I'm not going to shoot unless they're within 15 feet.
Okay, that is precariously close. I'm gonna have Jimmy start making drive auto checks.
Okay.
1 success. So he begins the turn, and he turns the I guess you call it the cab to the left, and so it begins. He's gonna need to make 5 more of these.
Okay.
This thing just goes and like huffs as it starts moving, and you see the exhaust shoot out one of the pipes, and it's starting to move. And the one good thing about this is it's going to be able to block about half of the alley until the dead start crawling underneath the trailer.
I'm going to call to Fiona because it's a grocery store that she has, right? Like a grocery. You sell liquor in there?
Yeah, but it's mostly grain alcohol.
That'll work. And I'm going to run in and try and find a bottle, and I'm going to take my handkerchief and stuff it in and make a Molotov cocktail.
Nice. Yeah, you're just sort of like digging around, sort of like swiping things off of counters, like looking for stuff, and you notice that the dead are also trying to they're like banging on the front door and windows that are all boarded up. They're not going to get through this way unless they start like really building up in a big crowd and fall in. But the way that this place is boarded up is surprisingly stable.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm gonna find some. If I can get a couple of bottles, um, I'll um, I'll rip off my tie, or like I said, I'll use my handkerchief and I'll make a Molotov cocktail. Ideally, can I make 2 of them at least?
Make some sort of check to justify that to me.
Okay, can I do that as? I mean, I don't know if sleight of hand or.
Honestly, I think a luck roll would be appropriate, having enough to make 2. Like being able to find enough to make 2.
A luck? Okay.
Yep.
That fails. I'm 92. Jesus Christ.
You only find enough to make 1, so you got to make this one count.
Okay. As I step back out into the alley, there's 3 points. The one that we need to go through, and then the other 2. Which of those 2 points has more zombies? Or I'd say the one that has more zombies is where I'm going to throw it. I should say.
Right. So there's you hear the loud clap of the shotgun as Fiona fires off both rounds and begins the reloading process. She cracks open the gun, reaches into like a satchel bag, and you just hear like all those shells bouncing around, and she just fumbles and throws 2 in and closes it back up. And the 2 entry points, they're sort of blocked off right now by the truck, but you can tell that there's about an equal amount pouring from left and the right. This place was surrounded before you even knew it.
Okay.
I'm gonna have Jimmy make his next drive auto.
Well, 6 to 1, half dozen of the other. Fuck it, I'll throw it to the right. And try and just essentially burn every zombie that's there, but like get that entryway so anyone who passes through it is going to be on fire.
Make a check, throw me. I think that's a throw.
Okay. I'm not excellent at this. Fuck. I want to use the reroll now. Fuck it, why not? I'll
also spend 48 luck.
I'm not doing that. No. Okay, 60.
So you attempt this throw, and you fling it as hard as you possibly can, but it like smashes against the brick wall and fires, sort of like starts falling down, and it like takes out a few of the rotters, and like they catch fire, and their flesh and clothing just immediately ignites. You know, it's woolen and cotton clothing. It's gonna immediately combust. And the thing about it is, they're not necessarily slowing down until there's almost nothing of them left to move. Like when their ligaments and muscles have completely dried out and there's like nothing left of it, that's when they fall. So they take about a good 20, 30 seconds after being set on fire, and they're still proceeding towards the truck, which has a canvas back on it.
Okay. Shit.
You hear the clack clack of the shotgun, and then as the truck's turning, you just hear this loud this loud thud, and you hear like the crack and crumbling of bricks as Jimmy put the front of the truck almost through the wall of a building.
Okay. I'm going to not happy. I'm going to go away from the truck and fire my gun into the air several times and try to draw them toward me, and be as loud as possible.
Okay. Subtract however many bullets you would like from your gun.
Let's see. I have a 1911, so
7.
yeah, I'll do an entire magazine.
Okay. Just like going straight into the air, and it's a handgun, so it doesn't have much of a muzzle flash. But in this dark alleyway, it seems to ignite a lot more than you'd think. And all of these dead just like sort of turn, and they start ambling towards you. And you see these dead. That one starts crawling towards you. Its face looks like that of overcooked meat, just like blackened and sinuous. And there's nothing left of the melted eyes, and its head is just like sort of crawling underneath the truck towards you. There's still embers and sparks coming off of their ashen coat. And all of these dead seem to be drawn to you, so much to the extent that even where Fiona is shooting down these dead en masse, they don't even seem to be focused on her anymore.
Okay. I'm going to yell at her, "Don't shoot unless you absolutely have to." And I'm going to be screaming and running backward, trying to draw them away toward me just long enough for Jimmy to get the goddamn truck out of this alley.
Okay. So you're going to have to move away from the situation. So from the action that you were describing to me, you are not going to see this happen. So I'm not saying you're going to die. I know that sounds a little bit like ominous when I say that. I'm saying that you're going to have to make a luck roll to me to see if you can find a proper means of escape while you're leading this horde away from you. And this horde seems to just be growing.
26.
That is a success. So as you're sort of making your way through the store, because that's really the only way you can go right now, you fling yourself back inside of the door that you busted off the hinges in the previous session, and you look around, and you realize that you're all but trapped. But you sort of you close the door behind you the best you can. That you can hear the dead. You can hear the eerie sound of their gurgling, and this just absolutely irritable sound of nails, bone, muscle, sinew tearing against brick and wood and even glass. And you're completely surrounded. You know you're completely surrounded. You are hoping that your distraction was good enough. That being said, that door on the hinges, you fixed it, but it's not like in exactly great shape to hold off a mass of like dozens of dead.
Yeah.
So you're stuck in here. We'll say I'm gonna roll a die to see how much time has elapsed.
Okay.
You did succeed. I don't want it to make it sound like it's so dire.
No, I understand.
2 minutes elapsed. 2 solid minutes. You hear this truck moving around, just like it's like moving backwards, just like the sound of like the exhaust, just coughing over and over again. And if Jimmy and Fiona are communicating with each other, you cannot hear them over the cacophonous roar of this horde. And you've all but given up. You've knocked over shelves trying to find something. You've been looking through for doors beyond curtains and stuff like that, and you pretty much given up, all but given up. And then you realize you look down at your feet in defeat, and there's a rug.
Okay. I'm gonna pull the rug aside. I'm gonna kick it aside as I'm taking out a cigarette, because if I'm gonna die, I might as well enjoy myself.
Yeah. You're pulling out your cigarette to have one last smoke, and you kick it aside, and you see a handle inset into the floor. Very crudely, like this was done not by the people that built the actual grocery store, but by the people that inhabit it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, when I have 2 questions. Firstly,
Yes.
when I started, I don't know if I just didn't write or if I don't have it. Do I only have the 1 magazine of ammo for? Because I believe I
You
bought
purchased
a
more
box of
ammo.
shells. Yeah,
Yeah, you
I
bought
a
more ammo.
box. Okay.
A box is like 50 bullets.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull on the handle. Is it unlocked?
It's unlocked, but it's sort of jammed into the floor.
Okay. Well, it's not like I have anything else but time to try and stop this. So I'm going to force it open if I have to.
Okay. What's your strength?
My strength is actually, wow, no, actually that's my worst one. Wow, really? Strength is my worst? 40.
Okay. You gotta make some sort of check to justify getting this open then?
Let me think here. Can I? Never mind. Okay, you said it's not locked. It's just like jammed shut.
It's just pretty, yeah, it's pretty like jammed into the floor.
So lockpick won't do anything for me. Can I psychoanalyze it and just be like, is the reason you're jammed shut is because your feelings about your father? All right. How about this? Can I do a brawl? That's the only
Yes.
thing I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta try something.
All right. Well, I'll try it. Absolutely unmitigated failure.
Should.
Remind me how that works again?
You can re-roll it, but if you fail, I get to have something bad happen.
Okay, that happened to me last time.
I'm just saying, devil's bargain.
Yeah. Before I do that, can I quickly reload my magazine?
Yeah, no, that happens. I mean, these things are still clawing, and you hear the door just sort of being beaten down upon, and you only have so much time, but you aren't exactly.
You said I was in here for 2 minutes, so
Been in here for 2 minutes now, so yeah,
you're reloaded. Okay. So just trying to force it. I'm going to go and find anything I can use as a lever, a piece of wood, any kind of like bar, anything that I can use to try and get some leverage and force this door open that way, because clearly just pulling out it's not going to work.
That's great. That's a good justification for a push, and also getting a D10 to your roll. So you actually, this wouldn't be a push. This would just be a retry with the D10, since you're saying that you're stepping away from it. So around the store, there's all sorts of like random miscellaneous stuff. Like I said, it's a general goods grocery store. So the best thing you can find is like probably a pry bar. I mean, they have to unload crates somehow. So.
Yeah. I'll try that and just try to get some leverage on this thing.
Okay. Give it another shot with the D10 bonus.
Okay. This. 21.
Nice. So you find this pry bar, and you hear the splintering, like a splintering explosion of wood as the back door sort of just bursts open, and you see these dead sort of roll into the room, just like falling over each other, and they start managing to stand themselves up, albeit rather slowly, and they are making their way towards you. But you find the pry bar. Use your hands like on the pry bar. You're looking at this situation, and you immediately just leap yourself over the counter and go back over to where this door is, and you jam it in, and it's taking a lot longer than you'd like. You see these dead sort of like shuffling their way, like flinging themselves over the counter, or just kind of rolling, not flinging. They're not that strong. And then some of them are just like shambling all the way around because they have the common sense to act like the balloons from Balloons Tower Defense. And you dig your pry bar in, and you just pushing as hard as you can, and this thing pops, and it's like practically it goes flying, and there's a small hole. It's very dark.
Well, that's where I'm going.
Down. Okay, and that's where we'll jump away from you.
Fantastic.
Okay, I would like to go over to Eddie. You are muted.
Roger that was all I said. Sure, sounds great.
Right on. Hannibal does not have dark vision. So he also does not have tremor sense. Or blind sight.
I'm sorry.
Hannibal absolutely has true sight.
Yeah.
So
He knows there's bullshit of it.
Eddie, you were
It's
just
alright, everyone.
escorted.
I prepped cure wounds. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you're right, my bad. Yeah, cure. Okay.
I've got Misty Step ready to go. It's fine.
Oh, yeah,
So, meanwhile, as the artificer gets back to work, go ahead, Red.
So
Sorry.
I hate Dungeons and Dragons. I hate Dungeons. No, I'm kidding.
I'm going Pathfinder. Continue.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so there is no artificer in Pathfinder, you poser. Anyway, so
Right, inventor.
Oh, hey, whoa!
Anyway, you were saying.
Getting a little heated here.
yeah, because I'm wearing a fucking suit and there's a candle in front of me.
I'm in a fur coat!
Oh!
I actually had to pull some
I'm
footage
fucking
into the AC. Anyway, so, hey Squid, how you doing? What's up,
What's
Red? What's up with Eddie? Because last we left off, Eddie was standing outside of the office waiting to talk to this guy so that he understands it's not just like a let's make a train, clap clap, train done. There's a lot that goes into making train, and I'm not sure he full well realizes it's going to be involved in the making of an intercontinental train network, which is what he's asking for effectively.
Right. So you're standing there with Leroy as Dodger and oh my god, why am I having such a brain fart? Dodger and Sylvie. Jesus. All right, sorry. It's one of those days.
Wow.
One of those
How
days. One
can
of those
you
days.
forget?
No, that's
How?
not.
What do you mean how?
Could you forget Miss LaBelle?
Sylvie's so quiet and demure that sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh. So these two women are sort of like escorted out of the room. And you're standing there with Leroy. Are you talking to Leroy at all before they leave the room? There's a couple of mooks just sort of standing around with weapons in hand.
He's just keeping an eye on Leroy, giving him a stern, grip on the shoulder, just letting him know, hey, it's gonna be all right. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We got this. He's not really saying any of this out loud. He's just reassuring him physically so that he doesn't have to worry about it. How is he looking? How's the kid doing? Because I imagine this is probably more guns than he's used to being surrounded by.
I mean, with everything that's happened to him previously, he's just sort of... He has a very placid expression on his face.
It
That's fair.
is not okay.
Obviously
I don't
not.
think any of us are okay right now.
Yeah.
Omni, could you do me a favor and remind me of what your, connection is for your backstory? One thing that I cannot take away from... I would like everybody to remind me of this, by the way. What's something that I cannot take away from you without having to fight for it first? Yeah.
The pipe wrench. That would be the thing that was his connection. The pipe wrench and the place where he can't be taken away from was I think it was the train yard.
It's the one little star that you put next to something. There's one thing in your backstory that I cannot take away from you unless I let you fight for it.
Oh yeah, it's the pipe wrench. It's 1,000,000% the pipe wrench.
I can't say mine out loud.
I know what yours is.
Okay.
Mine is Sylvie.
Yours is Sylvie.
No, it's not. Is it?
Is.
It is.
Oh,
That's something that we discussed in private too. So, yeah.
Was that supposed to put Hannah? Mine is John Pierre.
Good to know where
I'm
I
not
stand.
joking. That cat keeps Sylvie sane.
Yeah.
So,
I can
yes,
give you
for
a-
him-
the duality of these siblings. Just like
I'm so sorry. Sylvie. Oh my goodness! If Sylvie knew that, she would feel so bad. She'd be like, "Oh yeah, of course I meant my brother."
So, yeah, it's the pipe wrench he carries on his person. It's the tie to his work, and it's the tie to his need to feel useful. It's
so.
what's helped bind him.
So Leroy looks up at you, and he sort of quietly says, "What about Charles?"
Well, I told them not to hurt him. I told them that I need him. I figure we'll ask if we can go get him soon, but we'll deal with that when we get the chance. Right now, he's in the truck. He'll be safe. Honestly, he's probably safer than us right now.
These mooks, one of the mooks just kind of looks over at you through half-loaded eyes and just kind of gives you this glance oh yeah, you think so?
He looks at him and just goes, and just sort of shrugs. He's not like, objecting, but I think it's pretty obvious to anybody involved that less than 20 minutes ago they did not have guns pointed at them.
Right.
Like,
Okay, the two women are escorted out of the room by another armed man.
I feel like Sylvie is a little unnaturally quiet. She has to ruminate a little bit on what's just happened and try and figure out the next wheels of the plan. But she will, when she exits, give her brand new train engineer best friend a big smile.
Dodger will give you a wave as well. I think she's kind of just like, oh, Sylvie's smiling. Hello.
All right, you twos. This guy would gesture to Sylvie and Dodger. You twos, stay up here. Stay in this general area. I'll be back to collect you when it's time to head out. Don't get up to nothing. We got eyes everywhere.
All right, thank you so much.
He just give you this mirthless nod and walk off.
Was that the boss, by the way, who just did that?
No, not just some random
Some
thug.
So,
Are we getting a tour? Are we getting a tour of the place?
Nobody's offered.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Eddie just sort of stands there, tapping his fingers, waiting patiently for his turn to go back into the office. There's shit we gotta talk about with this guy. Like, he's gotta know what's entailed in this. It's one thing if it was Eddie who's just like, oh yeah, we can just get like a couple people, get like a train car, get out of here. This guy wants a fucking functioning railroad.
So are you like are you airing these grievances in front of these mobsters at the door?
No, he's not. Eddie's thinking about this. He's processing this internally. He realizes this is something that he needs to talk to this guy about, preferably like away from his mob crew, so he can be blunt with him without seeming to be, because he's smart enough to know how this power dynamic works. He's never been with the mob, but he knows enough that its power dynamics about the mob are all about respect. He was in the military, and there's a simple rule of thumb: being underneath somebody, you follow orders. That's the way that it works. You can question them, but you don't question them in front of other troops. That's a great way to get your ass beat.
Right.
And so he doesn't want, and he knows that these guys, while they are not the military, they have a hierarchy. And this guy needs to know what he's asking about. And he might not know at all what he's fucking asking for. And if he doesn't, he needs to be able to get those answers without looking like an idiot in front of his men.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I
so he's
understand.
aware of that. Yeah.
The thing is,
so he's not said this out loud.
Thing is, time is going to pass, and you have Dodger and Sylvie to talk to in the meantime. So,
all right. So yeah, he's gonna look at the two of you. Can I make a roll to see if I recognize Sylvie?
yeah, by all means, if you have some sort of skill that you can justify, perhaps knowing Sylvie through.
Spot hidden.
Oh, good.
Spot hidden.
I think Sylvie's the furthest thing from hidden.
Yeah, no. Honestly, the real trick is Eddie's kind of. Eddie's not really that into that sort of thing. He's not really into the theater or that sort of thing. But maybe, God, I'm trying to see if there's a way for me to possibly recognize who she might be. God, I have like nothing in anything social. There's like nothing here. You know what? Can I have made a listen check to see if maybe I could have heard her through the door talking about like who she is?
You did make a listen check.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, and you
Couldn't
failed.
hear it through the door.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, then I don't know. I literally can't justify anything else. I have nothing here that would work. It's not like I have a social encounter.
Make a luck roll. Extreme success. You know who she is.
Look, wrong.
Extreme
it.
success.
He's not from Chicago. That's why I'm saying it's an extreme success.
Well, he is from Chicago, but he tends to go around away from it.
Well, yeah, you're not like always in the know in Chicago. Is what
Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying.
and that's a 94. I wouldn't have made any successes
Okay.
on that.
Yeah, there's a lack of recognition on his face, Sylvie. That just sort of like strikes you as like, oh, this guy's not cultured.
This guy just doesn't know. There's no recognition. Got it.
No.
Got it. What about the kid?
I'll make a roll.
Yeah.
I had to
He
think
might
about
be
it.
more into the theater than we are. There's a humanities badge, after all. He would have had to get that.
True.
That's true.
Sorry, arts and music. That'd be the badge.
So, the boy looks up at you. He's like 14 or 15, I think he is. 14, 15, 16. He hasn't really said how old he is. And he's like 5'3", 5'4", not quite at the growth spurt yet. And he just kind of like looks at you, and he has like he kind of like squints, not like it's like see, he's like trying to identify you. Like he can place you, but he can't quite place you.
So I think Sylvie has gone into her bag. She's got out her lipstick and her little compact mirror. She's like, because this is a stress reliever for her. It's like redo the makeup, redo the face, make it
Right.
everything will be like chill. So she's like getting that out and she's doing that, and she's kind of looking around. I feel like if she notices that she's being stared at by this kid, she'll probably give like a smile and go, "Hi there," and then continue to just look around at all these monsters and wait, because I think like she's been told there's a tour, so she will wait expecting that to be a thing, and it will take her a couple of minutes before she'll be like, when is this happening, what's going on?
Right.
So I think she's just waiting for something to happen at first and for somebody to do something or say something, but if no one does, then she will like speak up, because she can't have a silent room. This is not something that Sylvie can deal with very well. So
Yeah, you guys are sort of on the balcony, and below is like everybody's playing games. They're being pretty quiet, all things considered. They're playing games, they're drinking, they're quietly chatting. It's like a lounge. They're smoking cigarettes and stuff like that, and cigars. It's not exactly silent. It's just a little bit more quiet than you would like.
Wow, they really know how to party here, don't they, Dodger?
Yeah.
Dodger.
She's fucking nervous.
Yeah.
And then I think that she'll like quieten a little bit, and she'll lean in and she'll say, "You all right?"
I'm just waiting to go down to the medical room to get those supplies that we need.
I'm sorry about how I was outside, by the way. I don't really know what came over me.
What happened? Wait, yeah. What do you mean? I don't understand what you're talking about.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'm sorry.
I just look at you very confused.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to intrude, but you say you're a doctor by any chance? You'd see Eddie sort of like bend over a little bit and address you.
Nurse practitioner, but yeah, probably more qualified than.
She's a doctor.
Okay, I'm a doctor.
She's just a little shy about it.
That's perfectly fair considering how everything's gone. Sorry that you. How did you end up here, if you don't mind me asking? Because you don't seem like either of you two are particularly. He just sort of like looks around, just kind of like, and just like looks around the present company. Hey, look, everyone's made like fucking squares, and then then you two. Like, for me, every time I think of mobsters, and I know it's an unfair assumption, but my mind literally goes back to fucking Kingpin from Spider-Man. Just the Mets, everybody loved the Mets. Everyone just made like a fucking square. And so he's looking at you guys like, yeah, you're obviously not fucking.
I don't.
You sold me, like, not Dodger for sure.
Honestly, Dodger looks like she should have been the first one to be eaten. I don't quite remember how we got in here, but I was at ground zero when the hospital went. So I just ran. And Sylvia here and her brother saved my life.
Oh, well, I didn't do anything. My brother saved your life.
I mean, we made it here without him, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you don't remember what happened outside?
You can see her, like, she has a sort of really, like, concerned look on her face while she's trying to think really hard about what happened.
Oh, well, nothing much. And she's like trying to figure out what the best thing to tell you. I can already imagine that Sylvia's trying to figure out how to not tell you that she ended up beating the shit out of you.
I mean, you can try and lie and see what happens.
All right, well, we'll talk about that later. And you, and she's gonna turn to Edward.
He
Sorry,
would just take his hat off. Edward, apologies, I didn't introduce my name.
Edward.
And he turns towards the Boy Scout and introduce yourself.
Leroy.
Pat on the shoulder.
I'm Sylvie LaBelle, and this is my friend Dodger. My very recent friend Dodger. We have happened upon each other due to some irregular circumstances outside.
Pleasure.
Yes. I suppose that would be the nice way of referring to it. So, you were at the hospital when all this happened.
Yep.
My condolences. It must have been a madhouse. And
Yep.
Ms. Sylvie, you said, your finery suggests that you came from somewhere a little nicer than the hospital.
Oh yes, I'm a actress.
An actress. That's fair.
I've been in some stage shows. I was due to debut my film, but zombies put a stop to that.
Oh,
She's pretty good.
Hold on. He's gonna pause on the word zombie for a second. I don't know. Edward's pretty smart, but I'm not sure he'd be familiar with like Afrikaans culture in any way, shape, or form.
No.
No. Sylvie is 100% claiming this knowledge as her own. No one told her this. This is her knowing that what these things are. This is how she does things.
So Leroy looks up at you. What happened outside?
We were here with a friend of ours. You do remember that, don't you, Dodger?
I remember us being with someone, but I can't remember his name.
He died, right?
What?
She's gonna give Leroy, is it Leroy?
Yeah,
This smile of, but it's definitely a smile of like, easy now. But perhaps it's better if I explain it, seeing as I was there, Leroy. Yes, Dearman, our Irish friend. Do you remember? He's.
Oh God.
Okay, well, breathe now, Dodger. I need you. Don't lose me now.
It's okay. People die.
I'm aware of that.
They die a lot nowadays.
I'm also aware of that. She sort of leans at, like, sort of like drawing daggers towards Leroy. Like,
all right. We've
How
all
do you
had a
two
rough
know
day.
each other? What, are you his father or something, uncle?
Oh, no, unfortunately not. Leroy was camping up in the mountains, and me and my friend stumbled across him when we were seeking shelter. We were coming back from the other side of town, and it was easier to go through the campgrounds and try to make it to a building somewhere in town at nightfall, and, well, luck would have it, we stumbled across the building Leroy was in. And, Leroy's proven to be an incredibly skilled scout. Lucky to have him along. And gives Leroy kind of a gentle pat on the shoulder.
Were either of you two hurt?
No, none of us. We also were traveling with another man. Our friend. You would know if you saw him. A little bit eccentric. Has a bit of a bum leg. More elderly, balding. Has a very strong beard. Drives a Ford Model T truck. Sounds like it could use a lot of repair.
The one making the holy racket outside?
I don't know which one. Possibly. We told him to we told him to circle around and draw the horde away.
Oh my god.
Am I missing something here?
Well, we got caught up in a horde because someone was driving around like a crazy thing, making as much racket as possible. It makes sense now.
We have to look out for ourselves.
Well, part of being a scout, doing a good turn daily for others. Just because the world ends doesn't mean we stop being human. I am sorry about that. I didn't realize there would be anyone coming. I certainly didn't realize there was anyone coming to this building. I came to this building hoping to climb on top and just look into the rail station. I didn't expect to stumble across the entirety of the criminal underground of this fair city.
I'm not
As
sorry.
he looks over and sort of just like, he's not saying it like in a derogatory way, but he's just kind of like a little bit still pissed that he's like, yeah, I chose the one building in a fucking abandoned apocalypse that had me occupied by the goddamn mob.
Those mobs are just standing there with his hands full, and just kind of looks up, turns his chin up a little bit, and looks down his nose at you like, what?
Everyone just turns to him. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, do you not find it kind of funny that the one building I climbed was the one building filled with you all?
You're not exactly a comedian, pal.
Same, very clearly. No offense meant, I would have been perfectly fine just having climbed an empty apartment building.
That's too bad, huh?
Luck is the way it is, right? Either way, we're here now. Might as well
Better be
make the
lucky
best.
we didn't blast you as soon as we saw you. That's luck.
No, it's also luck that you happen to have an engineer here who can manage the trains next door, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's the only thing keeping you alive right now.
Mm-hmm. It might be the only thing that saves all of you. Are we done with the pissing contest? Can we move on?
Gentlemen, can we just take it down a notch, please? I'm getting a mighty headache.
That's fair.
Forgive me.
Can I have Dodger? Can I have Dodger slowly just like slide like a painkiller over to Sylvie? Just like really very very subtly just hand her a painkiller.
A single half ibuprofen.
Yeah. just very subtly just.
She's gonna look at this mobster guy that's been chiming in. Excuse me, sir. We were promised a tour of the facilities here. My friend here needs medical supplies.
She kind of like rattles the bag around, and it seems like there's like nothing in it anymore.
Sylvie just pops the last painkiller that she's just got nothing left.
I don't have an actual bag to Ruffles use, so I imagine that she's got a big bag.
We got a pantomime.
Someone provide the sound effects.
All the cats just come running into the room.
So, like this guy just kind of like looks between the two of you. Says so.
Oh god, what was his name?
Your boss. It was Jack.
Jack.
Machine Gun Jack.
Machine Gun Jack McGurran.
Jack boy.
Do not call him Jack.
That's a terrible idea.
I'm
I'm
not
aware.
calling him anything of the sort.
No. His name was Mr. Jack.
He's gonna look between the two of you before he like reaches over, and he's like still got his eyes on you, and he's gonna like pensively open the door.
You can
Hey.
come with if you want. I'm just going to get medical supplies.
Hey,
She
boss.
looks at the-
We gonna get a tour? Yeah, can you give me a fucking minute? I'm busy. Oh yeah, and send that railroad guy back in.
Suck her up.
Actually, send all of them in. If they're just standing out there prattling, I can fucking hear you from here.
Oh, shit.
Edward just,
We're fine.
Edward just smiles like that thin line, like, finally. Like, it's literally the DMV line smile where you're like, oh, my number's been called, but God, it was way too long. And he's gonna start walking in and sort of like, he's not quite guiding Leroy, but he's keeping him relatively close. Sort of that protective umbrella of don't fuck with this kid kind of energy.
I think Sylvie just gets up with a little bit of a huff, like a little bit of sass. She's just like, God, in, out. Girl doesn't know she's coming or going. And just gets up and follows.
Exit stage left, enter stage right. Why are these at the same time?
Okay, so you're all led into the room and you see Jack just sort of sitting there at his desk and he just looks at the lot of you. What?
I just wanted to get some medical supplies.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Not all about you.
She just looks at the floor as if to say,
I'm looking at. Don't look at me. You called him in. I don't know anything about what business you two have conducted.
Doja does that sort of eye roll where she goes, "Are you sure about that?" And she looks at the floor.
So let's start.
Yes.
Draw straws or something.
What?
All right, I'll go first then, unless you all wanted to go. I still have things we need to talk about in terms of setting up the train, but I understand you're probably working on it, and it'll take time. I'm patient. It's fine.
All right, if you're gonna drown me in details that I could give a shit less about, I'm not a train engineer, okay?
It's not details. It's things you might be more interested in.
Okay, we'll keep that egg shit out of this room. Just speak in broad strokes.
All right. Well, broad strokes. We need to assess what's going on with the rails before I can promise a distance that far. Normally, a railroad has a lot of people tending to it at the same time. Different trains run to keep the tracks clear. Others have engineers maintaining the engines. Right now, I can get you an engine and a train working, but I need to know what I'm working with, how many men we can use, and more importantly, I need to be able to scout the tracks out at least a little bit in advance. See how safe they are getting out of town. After that, they should be fine. That's all I'm going to need.
Right, so I've been doing some thinking of my own, and I'm wondering, were you going to put this train entirely together by yourself? For just you and the kid and the psycho in the car?
He sort of pauses and chuckles. Initially, that was the plan, but it's going to take more than just the three of us.
No. You're working with somebody or someone. Nobody gets an entire fucking train going by themselves.
Well, we were hoping we could get some assistance. I always forget his name. I'm pretty sure it was Dick, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was Dick. Me and my friend spoke to a gentleman by the name of Dick earlier. Said he'd be able to get us personnel to help us work, but he needed protection and supplies. So did we. In fact, we were going to come looking for someone to help connect us with that. Stumbling across you is dumb luck, but opportune luck nonetheless.
Are you talking Dick Dunn?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, okay. That's where we differ, pal.
How
I'm
so?
not gonna work with them. If I need to
You
spell it out, you're pretty fucking stupid.
I'm not from around here, so I don't know the politics of the city very well. I come in, and I go out on the trains. So I don't know what your beef is with the man, and that's fine. I understand. You're all working out of different things and situations. Right now, he has manpower, and it's practical.
Yeah, and that's the
workable.
problem. There's a lot of them, but a lot of us. And I got to worry about mostly my people, the Italians. He's got to worry about his people, the blacks. I understand that. But tough shit. You're with me. I'm going to give you the things that you need to get out of this city. You can tell Dick to fuck off. He's not getting any help. He's going to figure it out all by himself. He's pretty independent as is. Turned his back on Capone when he needed him.
Oh shit.
He's gonna pause and just look around the room to see. Are there any guards in the room right now?
Yeah, there's two guys behind you, sort of like shit, like in the sort of way that if you turned around to face them, you would not be like greeted pleasantly.
No, I know he's not gonna turn around to face him or anything. I just figured I would ask how many people walked in with us or how many people he saw when he came in. And he's going to just he's going to lean forward a little bit. Look, I trust that your men are capable. But many hands makes for light work, and a train can carry hundreds.
Yeah, and many hands equal that many mouths to feed divided by 2. Think of that one, okay? We don't got enough to go around. I barely got enough to go around for the people here. You really think I'm gonna feed 200-300?
They
More?
can handle their own food.
Bullshit.
It's materials we need to get the train going.
We're not having this argument. It's gonna be how I say it is. You're gonna get the train going for these people, not Dick.
Okay.
Dick isn't here helping you out right now, is he?
He's going to pause and just hold his hands together. How many of your men work the trail? How many of your men work the rail yard?
Probably a couple dozen.
A couple dozen. To get a train going from here to where is it you wanted it?
Timbuktu. I don't give a fuck, just as long as it's out of the city.
All right. We'll see. I want you to think about it, though. There's not many people in this city that are capable of it. And when the world's burning down around us, I'd prefer to have options.
You ain't got shit. Your option is you work for me or I fucking spill your head on the pavement. Those are your options. You like those options?
Then you're stuck here in the damn city. I'm not trying to contest this too hard. I'm just saying, from an engineer's standpoint, what you need. All right? I need to know what you have. So I'm fine with that 2 or 2, but I'd be for different reasons. So the only reason I came to this building was to look at the trade yard to see what we have to work. That's it. Before your friends pointed a gun at me and made it an issue.
Yeah, well, now
That's
you're going
all
to
I
help
have.
me. That's how it's going to be. You don't got much of a choice.
Never mind. Continue. Go ahead. And he's going to turn to you two and just hold a hand out.
Can I do a psychology check on Jack to see if there's anything I can determine, like if there's any possible way that he might be showing a bit of weakness that I can exploit?
Yeah, sure. By all means.
To see if I can get him to be reasonable. Oh, that's an extreme success.
Oh, damn.
Damn!
So, Jack...
Weakness! Give me the weakness!
Yeah, my psychology is 70. In fact, no, it's just
Deep behind
sorry,
the
it's
eyes,
just
Jack
almost-
is just a scared little boy.
Really, he actually is a trapdoor.
Under a rug.
And much like
Almost.
other trapdoors, his
Trapdoor
issues
that
stem
leads
from his
straight
father.
to a grocery store.
It's almost an extreme success. It's just a success. Sorry.
Okay. Is it a hard success?
Hard, yeah.
Success is so hard.
Well, I don't know because the fifth one says it's 14 and I rolled a 17. So. Oh wait, yeah. So 70 is success, 35 hard success,
Yeah.
14 extreme. Yeah, so it's a hard.
Yeah.
So
Success.
this is a hard success. You could always spend a couple of luck points to make it an extreme success.
Do you know what? I'm gonna do that. Actually, let's
Yes!
not use my luck properly.
Please,
Let's
for the love of
fucking
God,
go
because
for
something tells me...
Gonna win against Mafia
Something
Man.
tells me the guys who are running a casino aren't going to be very fucking good at working a train. Just
That's
Okay,
two,
call
that's-
it.
that's 2 luck
it.
points.
Three.
Yeah.
Let's
Two.
make it
Listen, if all else
Two?
fails, Sylvie can
No,
do
that's
it.
not-
He
that's
can
not
turn
just
a
a
hand to anything.
What is
Oh wait,
the
no, yeah, right. Sorry, I'm
5th
doing
of
it wrong.
70? 15, yeah.
I know I put it the wrong way down. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So on extreme success, you're gonna figure out a bunch of things just by hearing his conversation. Number one, he was not the first in the order of succession when it came to Capone. He definitely was not, because he's not a genius. He's not super smart. He's not savvy. He's made it pretty clear by his nickname, Machine Gun Jack, that he is a wet worker.
Okay.
That's what he was known for. He was just an assassin. He fucking killed people. He's not a genius. He just did the dirty shit. He was an enforcer. So there's obviously a sort of chip on his shoulder in the regard that people don't think he's very intelligent. Number two, he's not going to work with anybody that isn't an Italian. And the fact that he has to work with people that aren't Italian is very much pissing him off. So he definitely has the sort of common of the era racist sort of vibe. He doesn't want to. It's not that he wants it. The smart thing to do would be to work with Dick, because Dick has a whole legion of blue collared workers with him. The reason he does not want to is because they are not Italian, or they are not white. Period. He is racist. And the third thing I will give you is that it's very clear, 100%, that he sort of has this fear that people are going to think that he's weak. Not because he's not... they're not going to think he's weak because in the sense that like he can't kill somebody. He's killed many people. He did not earn the nickname Machine Gun Jack because he started calling himself Machine Gun Jack. And exploiting his intelligence and talking to him like he's stupid, that's going to be the thing that gets you killed. If you ever sort of suggest that he isn't thinking in the right realm space, or you try to argue his points, he will kill you. He doesn't care if it is a strategical disadvantage. That is what you know about this guy. He's a stupid racist. He's a thug.
Right.
And he's weak. And he's not going to let his points go.
Mr. McGurney, if I may speak. Mr. McGurney, may I speak?
Yeah, speak.
Someone running this kind of operation here in there must know what they're talking about and what they're doing, so I gotta applaud you for that one. But I think the smart move might actually be to exploit the talents of the others, of Mr. Dick and his crew, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I think you outnumber them about 4-1 right now, which means you are pretty much in the power seat for this one.
Sylvie's got this little prideful on her face, and she speaks too. Oh, I don't have to teach this girl anything.
I don't know what role I'd have to make, but given what I've seen, is that even the slightest bit believable to Edward that Dick doesn't outnumber this guy? With like a
she's kind of lying through her teeth.
I know. He's doing this to see like how nakedly obvious is this attempt at manipulation to him.
Do you want to make some sort of check for me, like a fast talk?
Yeah, I think that's what I'd probably try to do.
Well, I want Dodger to make the fast talk.
You want me to make a fast talk?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a D10. I'm gonna give you a couple of D10 bonus because of how well you rolled.
Could I possibly persuade you to use persuasion instead? Because she is trying to persuade him that he is at the top and he is right.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give you as much of a bonus.
That's
I'll give you just a D10 bonus.
Just a D10, right? That's
mostly because you know what he wants to hear and what he doesn't want to hear at this point.
And then a D10, so that is 50. I know that's a success, but is it a...
Make sure you're marking your successes, by the way, unless you're spending luck on them, in which case...
That's just a success.
Okay. He, like, leans forward and, like, rests his elbows on his desk. You're a doctor, right?
Indeed I am.
So it's safe to say by a few pieces of paper and a couple of years in college that you're a lot smarter than I am.
Only in certain fields, but not in the kind of things that we're dealing with right now. You
Right.
definitely have owned the playing field for me right now.
So you're just making estimated guesses?
I'm making an assumption based on the things that I have seen so far, which is kind of what doctors do anyway, right?
Yeah, diagnosis.
Yeah, you could call this a diagnosis of the situation.
He looks over at Eddie. Hearing this from somebody who has college experience is a lot more assuring. Though I don't like being questioned. He looked back at you, Dodger.
I'm not questioning anything, I'm making an observation.
I tell you what, I'll think a little harder on it.
Yes, sir.
Eddie
Now
would
what's
nod.
now what's this about a tour?
Oh, I was mostly looking for medical supplies to refill my bag, but Sylvia wanted to see a little bit more of what you got going on here.
Well, no, you mentioned our friend here, and she gestures to to Edward, who she now is just we're friends.
We're all
Um,
friends here now.
needed to see something up on the roof, and that perhaps we could all go together for the most efficient method. We don't want to waste anyone's time, do we, Dodger?
No, ma'am.
He just sort of like raise a hand and like gesture, and one of the guards would step out of the corner. And this guard, he had a really nasty scar on his face. It's just this like star-shaped scar that sort of just like ripples out from his cheek. You could tell he was shot in the face and survived it.
Dodger does get a little startled by it. She's like, oh.
Yeah, he's not exactly a comforting presence.
Aren't you a medical wonder?
I'm a study.
I'm gonna study the shit out of you.
Go with Giorgio, yeah. He'll lead you to the roof, and I'll give you a
Georgie.
general tour.
Thank
But
you,
don't
sir.
don't ask me for anything else. I got business to attend to.
Of course.
And leave the kid with me.
That would stop Sylvia in her track.
Mm.
He would pause and look down at Leroy, and look back up. Any particular reason why? He's been
Yep.
through a lot.
You'll be safer here with me.
Dodger's doing this sort of like stop talking gesture.
He's gonna look down at Leroy and take a knee and look him in the eyes. How you doing, buddy? You
I'm
with
alright.
this?
I can handle it.
I believe you. You got this, right?
Did not.
Okay. Scout is brave. I know you can do this. I'm just gonna pat him on the shoulder. All right. Leroy will stay here. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure. Just I'll take a cut out of you for some babysitting fees.
He chuckles at that. Sure. Ah, what little money in my wallet's worth. He's gonna follow this guy.
Okay. And you
Thank you,
hear
sir.
Jack talking to Leroy. Come on, kid, let's go play some golf.
Oh!
Good for him. Okay, you know what?
Oh,
He's gonna enjoy himself. I'm down with that.
I suddenly feel a bit better now.
I feel a lot better.
Got a maternal word for her body.
Oh, the stress just immediately lifted off my shoulder. Oh,
That
We're
was
gonna come back
so
and there'd be
good.
fucking.
Yes.
This kid's gonna basically live the
Christ.
Richie Rich life. In the meantime, we're gonna come back to be watching fucking movies while playing bowling in a private indoor bowling alley.
what the fuck?
I wish I could have gotten caught by the mob a long time ago. Damn.
You know,
She's gonna come back
damn,
and be like, "So you come to me on the day of my cat's bar mitzvah?"
You come to me on this, the day of my arrow of light, to ask me for a fucking favor.
You come to me on the morning of my indigestion. My IBS is troubling me, so I might be a bit gassy, but I'm willing to make an offer.
Oh God.
All right, so cutting back over
Oh,
to our man in the cellar. It's the name of the episode, Cellar Man. Just kidding.
Oh,
So,
Salaman.
so it's dark. You strike up your lighter.
I have a cigarette.
You strike up your lighter.
Okay.
Boo! No, I'm kidding. So the cellar is just it's a dark and dank place. It's clearly not been used in a long time. There hasn't really been a need since refrigeration became more common. So, yeah, this grocery store's been here for a long time. So you can tell that place is probably from the 1800s where refrigeration was not available. So putting things down in the cellar is kind of a not bad idea.
Okay. Well, if I have my lighter, does this look like it was a refrigerant or like root cellar, or was this a bootleg cellar?
So, as you sort of look around, you see a lot of history in the cellar. So you can tell that it was once used as a refrigeration cellar and that it was converted into a bootleg cellar because, got to make money. And the way to make money is sell something that's illegal. So, yeah, there's plenty of bottles of booze down here. Not a whole lot. There's just there's a few racks that are filled. So you probably have a good night at a club's worth.
Right. Well, obviously, I'm going to take a bottle for myself, part of my coat pocket. Guess I need to make a Molotov later or handle the stress of all this bullshit. Now, for this cellar, did I just trap myself even further in the dark, or is there any passage or door or way out beyond how I just came down?
So it's a sizable cellar. It's like surprisingly large. As you sort of like moving around, and like the lighter only provides so much light, and as you keep going, like the seemingly like what you would expect to be a wall, it just keeps going. And there's like old barrels that have been broken open. There's empty barrels. There's crates that are very old. You can see the dates like stamped on them, like 1885, like stuff like that, like really old stuff from like 60 years ago. And you keep going and going and going, and at the very back, there's a decrepit wooden door. And that you've been walking quite a ways. Like you can hear the shuffle of feet above you until you can't.
I'm gonna listen at the door to see if there's anything on the other side of it. Just a listen check.
Yeah, a listen check, please. By all means.
Hard success.
The other sound, or the other side of this door, is so bereft of sound, your ears are ringing. It is so quiet down here. It is just unerringly eerie.
Okay, good. I will I've reloaded my cigarette. To give myself a more focused light, I'm going to take either I don't think that I have my shaving kit with me, so I would assume I'll take my cigarette case, which should be mirrored on the inside, and hold it against the lighter to make a rudimentary flashlight.
Okay.
And I'll open the door.
Okay. So one of the things you open this door, and there is a staircase that leads down. It is a rickety old staircase, and you could tell it's from a very, very long time ago, just like the rest of the cellar. So much so that you start to think that you're not even sure that Fiona has ever been down here. Like there is such a thick layer of dust and cobwebs on everything behind you that Fiona and her husband probably didn't even bother opening this cellar door for one reason or another.
Yeah, I would assume if she barricaded herself in the grocery store and didn't come down this cellar, she either didn't know it was there or couldn't get the door open. So,
So as you like put your hand on the door, I'm assuming you're approaching the door. and like trying to open it. There is a note. It's like a piece of paper, and there's like a nail stuck into it.
What does it say?
There is no escape here. And it's written in a very blocky and hard man's hand.
Is the note here like yellowed and old?
It's yellowed, it's curling.
Fuck it, I'm gonna open that door.
Yeah. You open the door, and like I said, there's stairs that lead down and into an imperceptibly black void.
Okay. I will take a moment, and I'm going to head down. Obviously, like I said, I'll keep my little rudimentary like flashlight situation in front of me. It's not perfect, but the mirror should focus most of the light in one direction and kind of amplify it as skosh. I'm very meticulous, so I should have a good amount of lighter fluid in my lighter for a while.
Mm-hmm.
At worst, if I have to switch to just cigarettes, I'll do that. But I'm gonna carefully pace down. In my other hand, I'm gonna have my gun.
Okay. I am pulling up something real quick. So you're walking down and into this blackness, and the lighter flickers unnaturally so until there's just no light at all, and you're taking your step down, but your foot lands higher, like you're ascending now, almost as soon as the lighter goes out. And up ahead of you, there is a rectangular, like a vague rectangle shape of light.
I will. I'll flick the lighter closed, put it in my cigarette case away, and so it feels like I took a step up.
Yeah, rather than descending, you've ascended, and you sort of like take, like, your foot comes down a little harder than you would have originally imagined it to.
Does it feel like another stairway, or did I hit a ladder?
You hit wood.
I'm going to keep the gun trained ahead of me. I mean, close enough. I'm not pointing it direct, but I'm keep the gun ahead of me. I'm going to very slowly ascend towards that rectangle of light.
As you emerge, you hear a loud whistling and just this loud, rapturous explosion behind you as debris and detritus is flung everywhere, and your foot comes down as you ascend. You're sort of flung forward into this scene, and your feet start sinking into the mud of a trench. And around you, you hear people yelling. You hear the screams of whistles. You hear bullets flying overhead, whizzing by. You look down at yourself. You're wearing not what you were wearing previously. You are not wearing a suit. You are wearing boots. You are wearing combat fatigues.
I'm going to take a moment. Breathe. I'm going to adjust my helmet, and I'm going to look either side of the trench. Am I in a friendly trench, or am I across no man's land?
You're in a friendly trench at the moment, but you see people just sort of like bouncing up and down, getting ready to jump over. They're waiting for the sound of their officer's whistle, and you are in a regiment that has yet to be sent over into no man's land. You see blue uniforms. You are fighting alongside, perceivably, the French.
Is Jean-Pierre here?
You recognize a man. He turns to look at you, and he pulls on a gas mask that you're quite familiar with, and he claps you on the arm. It is time, my friend.
And I'll nod, and I'll reach and try and find my own gas mask.
We will do this together, or we will die together.
It's you and me. You and me against the whole world.
Vive la France. Vive la Estados Unis.
Viva la hand. All right. Remember it.
He'd clap you on the arm and lift up his French rifle and make sure his bayonet was nice and fixed on. And you'd hear this loud, shrill whistle, and he'd pretty much fling himself up onto the edge of this trench. And before you could even realize what you were doing, you were running alongside him, and you just see bodies flying, explosions, dirt, detritus just flying everywhere from the shells of the mortar fire. And then you see people standing very far back off in the distance, just sort of like pinpricks against the horizon. And they have these tanks. And within a moment's notice, you just see this billowing, massive cloud of yellow smoke. And there's individual ones, and then they start building up and coming together to form this large, tumultuous mass. And you can even smell it.
His uniform, and I'm going to pull him back. Try and find some mortar crater or get back to the trench.
You hear the whiz of bullets, and you see one almost, you could feel one almost hit your ear. You could practically feel the burning as it almost takes your mask clean off. But you grab Jean, and you fling both of yourselves into this hole that was blasted by some German artillery, and you lay there. And above you, just a foot above you, you see the smoke tearing over.
My mask is compromised.
It is. You can feel a burning on the side of your face, as where the bullet just missed you, it tore enough of the mask to do you in.
Mask.
He's taking his off. And he reaches over and he grabs yours and pulls it off of your face. Very forcefully. Jean-Pierre is a very strong Frenchman.
Don't do this.
You said it yourself, my friend. Viva la Hannibal.
This isn't how it happened. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't make it seem like you did this to me.
He'd push you down in the mud and put the mask on your face, and he would take the one that was compromised.
Don't do this. You didn't give it to me. I took it from you. Don't do this to me. This isn't how it happened. I took it from you.
And he stands up and he looks down at you, and your eyes follow him up as he stands all the way up, and you see that eerie image of the man in the gas mask with the cracked eye lens. And then you wake up and you find yourself at the bottom of a flight of stairs. I think we're going to go ahead and cut to a break. Folks, stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for your patience. If I can get the soundscape back up. There we go. Oh, turn the volume down a little bit too low. Okay. So, I am going to cut back over to the crew that isn't at the bottom of the stairwell.
Oh, that's
So-
me and us.
That's me and us. Very good.
Sylvie and the
I
gang.
just pressed the mute, and then you were like, "I'm cutting back over to them," and I was like, "Ah, no."
That's a we and I, surely.
We and me.
Sylvie and the gang.
Sylvie and the gang.
I'm gonna write you a theme tune now.
So, you guys wanted to go to the roof first?
Shall we go to the roof first?
I'm good either way, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm literally just gonna stare at the thing from the top. There's not gonna be too much fancy about it. It's just how fucked is the situation over there.
Let's go to the roof first.
Roof first, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get some fresh air in our lungs.
Okay.
That's fair.
Fresh air.
As you reach the top, it's about... I'm trying to remember what time it was when you guys all arrived there.
If I remember rightly, it was late. It was night, wasn't it?
No.
Not night, but like
I was
midday.
gonna say it's pretty early in the morning, if I recall.
It was early.
Yeah.
We were.
That's
Because we
yeah.
woke up early. Yeah.
So it's
So I
midday.
think that we're in sort of midday or early afternoon now.
Yeah.
Okay, midday it is.
Yeah, 'cause if it
Sometimes
was night, I was gonna be like, we're not going to the fucking roof right now. That'd be useless.
you guys are led up there through a stairwell, and they open up the door, and sky is nice and blue. There's some cloud coverage, but it's really looks really pleasant outside. And you turn and go actually onto the roof, and there's a pool. People are swimming, having a great time, chatting it up.
Excuse me.
Eddie just looks at this and blinks slowly, and just, all right. Nope, not.
Sylvie
Not-
just looks at this wistfully. She's like, "That is a fantastic idea."
You didn't tell me you guys had a pool.
You didn't need to know.
This should have been the first thing you told me about. I didn't bring a swimsuit though.
I'm sure
Eddie's
we
just
got
going-
one somewhere.
Eddie's going to soundlessly walk along the pool to the edge, so he can take a look at where the train yard is from where he is.
So-
He is doing his best to avoid looking at this shit. This is actually making his fucking blood pressure increase.
So the illusion's sort of broken as you go to the edge of the building, and the edges of the building are built up pretty high. The idea is just like you don't have to look at the common rabble below, but you can. There are points where it's like crenellated, almost like a battlement, so you can sort of look out, and city below is an absolute fucking disarray. This is sunshine and rain. Like there's just a invisible wall that splits these two areas, and you can see the train yard from where you are, looking south.
Perfect. He's going to reach into his pack and take out as I recall, the looking glass that Leroy had on his person that he had asked if he could use. He's going to take it out, stretch it, and he's going to take a look at the train yard and see what work do we have cut out for us. How bad is it?
It's quite a distance. There's a lot of buildings and traffic in the way, and there's
Was there? I thought the whole point was like the whole reason we came to this building was that it was as close to the train yard as we could reasonably get.
close to
Like
the
the
train
one that
yard
was-
you could reasonably get and get a good viewing distance of. This is the tallest building that you could reasonably see it from. It's also relatively the closest. So it's a few blocks. You can
Oh,
see it, but it's a few blocks. This building's like 30 stories tall.
Gotcha. It's fair. So yeah, he'll extend it out and sort of look over the things he's looking for. How many cars are intact? How bad's the horde? Are there any fires or anything that that would need to be taken care of? And how many engines are there at the moment? And also, if there's no engines out in the actual train yard, how are the actual like yard houses looking? Because that's where they would put them in storage if they're not in use. Like that's where you'd put a train engine when you need to service it and stuff.
Tracks are mostly cleared. I mean, when all this happened, it was early in the morning, so nobody ever came to be able to move them. So
Right.
tracks are completely empty, except for a few spare cars, excuse me, and the sheds look mostly intact, and there are a few clumps of dead sort of hanging around the yard, but sort of they're a lot more scattered than the dense populace of the rest of the city leading out to it. And you can see there's sort of a strange. If you look, you want to make a spot hidden check for me,
Absolutely.
some sort of check to justify.
Yeah. Let's see. For him, looking at this, I really wish you would open up a little further for me, buddy. There we go. Spot hidden. Let's go. Success.
Okay. You can tell where the dead have been diverted by Charles's driving.
Hmm.
And you can tell that they're sort of like making a trail, a very loose, clumped trail, like a what are those called? Not a scatter graph,
I know what you're talking about.
you know what I'm
Fuck.
talking about.
Yeah.
Like they're sort of scattered, but you can see a pattern. Is the point I'm trying to get? You can see the pattern there, and they're making their way like southeast. You can't see the car. That's a bit unreasonable.
Right. I figured. Okay. So.
And
he's
it's been a
heading
long
towards-
time since the car took off.
Yeah. I figure that's probably either he assumes we're dead or he assumes something's happened. So I figure he and Chuck have like enough of an understanding with each other to know like, hey, like they literally served in war. So I imagine there's sort of like an unspoken understanding of like, hey, this is a risk. If the risk is too much, don't fucking come back. Like, you know. And he figures at this point either Chuck has made the smart call and has bailed, we can regroup somewhere and come back, or he has just decided he's better off doing his own thing. And genuinely, Eddie's hoping it's the second, considering how warm the reception was. So looking back, it looks like as though if the train yard is largely serviceable, it'll just need to be cleared.
It needs
It's just a
some
big thing.
light maintenance.
Right. But like it's not like there's not like train cars flipped over.
Nothing's
No
flipped.
one did any no one did anything stupid like trying to Tokyo drift a fucking engine into the train yard to try to close off his run. So
Deja vu! I've been in this place
multi-track drifting. Like no one's tried anything that's
This is
stupid.
not the Suez Canal. No, we're fine.
Fast and
okay, good.
Furious.
Oh my god!
No one's
I would
ever-
give money.
No
for
one's
that.
fucking evergreened this place. That's the big
Too
one.
fast,
This-
too furious.
The biggest other question he'd see is: Are there any engines that he could readily use? Like the big thing is he's looking for either passenger train engines, which are solid, or cargo engines. Not like those kind of lovely. Let's go about the city and just sort of like tour around, because there's like touring engines which are great if you're rich, but have like no fucking power and are not meant to haul cargo.
Right.
We're probably in Eddie's mind. He's factoring, we're taking the Italians, we're taking Dick's troops, and they're all getting on board, and it's going to be plus us. So he's expecting this train's going to probably have to cart anywhere from 10 to 20 carts. And that's a lot to pull on like a punk-ass touring train.
So they're all housed right now. They are all invisible.
All right. So yeah, they're probably all in the sheds, needing like in the maintenance sheds. They probably were shuttered overnight, which makes sense.
Indeed.
All right. So satisfied, he would take out his little pad, write a couple of notes, put the viewing glass away, and then turn around and see what everyone else has been up to while he's been doing this.
So there are to the ladies, there are people literally walking around serving people in the pool drinks, and one of them approaches you, and it's a young woman, and she just gives you a smile. She's wearing a cocktail dress. She has her hair all done up. Would you like a drink?
Do you wanna,
The idea that you're just smiling at her, zoning out, like
Sylvie's gonna come come up because she's kind of trying to figure out what this engineer is doing, and trying to like become a bit friendly with this. She's gonna come up and she goes, "I will gladly have one, thank you," and just take one from the tray, and then just look at him. When in Rome.
No, thank you, ma'am. I'm on the clock.
She'd not just give you like this sort of like fake smile, like okay, weirdo. And she just like and you picked up a highball glass. You picked up a Tom Collins.
Ooh.
Oh. Yeah.
Fantastic.
She'll sip at it.
Actually, come back, waitress. I want one.
Eddie's watching this, and he just. I don't blame you. If I didn't have to do math, I'd take one myself right now.
If I wasn't on the clock.
So what are you looking for?
It's more like what I'm deciding is possible. He's gonna make sure there's like there's no sunbathers or any fucking like pool attendants nearby. I imagine we still have the guy who's like on the roof looking at us, but like he's not close enough. Like he's just making sure no one nearby is gonna hear him talking and start getting all freaked out. He doesn't want to start a panic.
Yeah, you just see some like portly fellow just like lounging back on a chair, and he's got one of those like sun things in his hands, and he just sort of like.
What are you looking for, sir?
Here, come over here. And he's going to walk over to the crenellations again, sort of usher the two women, and hand out the looking glass, and make sure that they don't lean over the crenellation. If this thing falls, he wasn't able to fucking catch it. I got lucky that I found a Boy Scout with a fucking spyglass. I don't think I'm gonna be able to just fucking go over there and grind tents till I find a new like spyglass drop. This isn't WoW. I can't grind boars till I get a lucky loot drop on this.
This isn't Destiny. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So he's gonna hold it up so you guys to look through and point towards the railroad yard. That right there is what I'm interested in. More importantly, the state of it. The work might be cut out for me, but at least that seems to be better than it could be.
Okay.
Alright.
Well, that's
So it's possible then to get a train going.
And he's gonna hold his finger up the second you say the word, like as you're saying the word train. Just...
To get a good look at the situation.
Yeah, he just sort of leans in quietly with an eye at Mr. Portly behind me on the lawn chair.
He's just relaxing, having a great time.
Yeah, exactly. He's just gonna lean in. What I'm planning, I don't know how many of these folks are actually going to get on.
So you try to strike a deal with Mr. McGurney as well? Is it Mr. McGurney? Am I saying that right?
Mr. McGurn.
McGurney. You strike a deal with Mr. McGurn as well?
Not like I had a choice. I just came on top of this building so I could get a good look at the train yard. Didn't expect a bunch of thugs with guns to pull me in.
Well, that
now
makes
I
three
guess
of
I
us.
work for him. And he rolls his eyes really fucking hard at that.
Well, that makes three of us, sir.
Yeah, we didn't quite
Unfortunately.
expect what we found here. We had some inclination, but truth be told, we're in quite a quandary ourselves.
Problem is, we probably need his help anyhow to get the trains going. Much as I wouldn't mind setting up just one engine and one cart, that's beyond possibility now. And I don't have the manpower for it, and he leans in and like sort of just grimaces in that I'm trying to smile so that the people nearby think that he's smiling, but to you all, you realize he's that rictus death grin of fury.
Sylvie's gonna catch what he's doing, and she's just gonna let out like the fakest like laugh, as if he's just told the funniest joke that she's ever heard.
Yeah.
Just,
It's like a, yeah.
the dog is just next to her like.
And she's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
If he doesn't get help, we're all gonna die in this city. So either he needs to learn to work with Dick, or Dick needs to come over and do it. Because I'll be honest, I don't think there's a single person in this building, maybe besides like 4 to 5, who can even swing a wrench. Let alone these idiots.
I think you could leave Mr. McGurn and me. I've worked out these. He might not be the sharpest tool in the box, but he's definitely got an ego that you can exploit quite well. If you want to get him to agree with you, you got to make him think it was his idea.
You know, it's already hard enough to do math.
He's
And then I
not a
have to deal with
smart
the
man.
numbers having fucking opinions about each other is even worse.
Listen,
Sir, he's not a smart man.
listen, Dodger and I, we might not be engineers or scientifically minded, but if there's anything I know, it's people. And Dodger, it seems I underestimated you.
Well, you take a night class in psychology, you learn people.
Yeah, well,
All right.
attend enough parties, you learn people too.
All right.
I would quite like to hear what you got. She sort of looks at you like a sort of prideful smile, like, yeah.
You's done over here. It's a kind of approach.
Do you have everything you need, Edward?
Yes, at this point I do believe I do. Good news. It looks decent. It's going to need some work, but it's manageable. Thank you for letting me come up here. Where do you two need to go now?
The med bay.
If you will, sir.
Yeah, sure. He's like lighting up a cigarette.
She's gonna literally just because he's the one with the grizzled up scar.
He got
Right?
this nasty scar on his face.
Yeah. She's just gonna. Thanks, handsome.
It just gives you this look. It's just like, I know you're not talking about me.
Damn.
And smile, like maybe I am.
Could I perhaps? Oh God, I don't know. Can you do? I'm assuming I can use this skill again. Could I possibly use some a psychology check to see? Pretty much the same thing. Like, has he got a soft spot that I can wiggle into here?
Yeah.
She's
Why'd you have to put it like that? Oh
I don't know.
God.
I'm trying to word it differently, and every time I
The
say
soft
it,
spot you want to wiggle into, huh?
Dodger and I are about to become like the gaslighting manipulation duo. He's gonna be
Very
feeding
much.
all the
Gaslight, gatekeep,
information.
girl boss.
Oh my god.
I'm
That's
gonna girl boss this
life
situation
motto right there.
if you'll allow me to.
Please, by all means.
Sweet. Roll a D100. Ooh, that is a fail.
Do you want to push it?
You know what? Yeah, I'm feeling lucky. I'm gonna
Oh,
push
no.
it.
Push
She's
that
like,
shit.
she's just staring
What
really
terrible
hard.
thing is gonna happen if you fail again? What you looking at?
That is an extreme success.
Can I bottle that luck? 'Cause that's I could use that right now.
I still have
I
my
would
reroll,
love
by the way. Yeah, that was
Okay.
an extreme success. She's just like staring at him, like,
We love to see it. I, for one, I'm really actually quite happy that all the social shit's not on me today.
I
The inner
got your
machinations of my mind are an enigma, and it's just literally the Patrick milk spill in his
Yeah,
head.
the jug falling over. Milk carton falling over. So, this guy, Giorgio, or Georgie, whatever you want to call him.
Georgie boy.
No, not
Oh,
Georgie
no.
Girl, like that obnoxious song.
Georgie
So,
Porgy.
anyway. So, fucking smug ass grin. So, Georgie, he looks like a tough dude. Tough dude with like the sort of like widow's peak, slicked back haircut. He's probably early 40s, mid 40s. You could tell that he was born here a long time ago. And he's been around the place a few times. He doesn't really hold himself in high value. He just sort of sees himself as the sheep. Sort of just follows orders. But he's more intelligent than he wants to let on.
Okay.
He's not just some dumb mook working for Jack. This guy is a lot more than what he seems. And he certainly isn't as much of a hard ass or an idiot as Jack is.
Is he a secret teddy bear?
Is that what you're telling me? He's secretly a teddy bear.
He's secretly a teddy bear, yeah.
Yes!
You rolled a 1, I gotta give it to you.
My favorite
Um,
kind of person.
So George is gonna lead into Sylvie and go.
We need to amass NPCs because when things
That's
go
just-
wrong, they die. So we need to start pooling them. We need to collect them.
Oh my god, people like a blade of armor? That's the most sadistic thing I've ever fucking heard.
Sorry, I'm just getting into character. Can
That's
you-
like the barbarian that says, I cast mage armor, and the DM's like, wait a minute, you don't have a spell slot. They grab the wizard.
in front of him.
Okay, I will say, my one bit of plot armor I had was that I had the cat with me, and I don't anymore.
Oh
I
shit.
know, I'm terrified.
Well, anyway, George is gonna lean into Sylvie and kind of, if you want him to be in a better mood, try and make him feel like he's a good person.
She's gonna look at. I think she's gonna give Dodger like a real look of like she's very impressed because this is very much like Sylvie's world, and she just didn't think that this would be Dodger's. Like Dodger's been this like holding the bag up to the like meekly coming behind him. So I think she's gonna look and she's gonna go. You know what, Dodger? I think you and I are gonna be very, very good friends.
She sort of gives you that really cute smile of really, it's sort of like we're friends.
The best of friends.
If you could persuade this man, I think you got this one.
And she's gonna like. I think she's gonna like now when she's walking along and she's talking to. She's gonna go a little bit less like flirtation, just a little bit more like friendly, like a little bit more like she just likes his company in her talking to him, which is not necessarily untrue. Like it's fine, but obviously
I
like
feel
it's
safer
different.
with this guy than
Yeah, I get.
At least he's not gonna fucking be like, yo, you fucking coming or I'm throwing you off the roof. Like,
who is literally like, hi, nice to meet you. I could mow you down with a machine gun. Like, I just think that she prefers this guy who's like a man of little words. She's like, oh, excellent. He's not a talker. It's a great start. I'll do all the talking for the both of us. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should just make like very casual like chit chat, like not anything like too personal, but just trying to like as if she's trying to get to know him a little bit.
Okay. You guys are sort of making your way down several flights of stairs until you inevitably get to the med bay.
Med bay.
Yeah. So you have plenty of time to chat it up with Giorgio here.
Giorgio, yeah.
Uh-huh. You don't strike me as the type to just well, follow orders.
He'd slowly look over at you. Give you a look with his eyes that sort of said, you better be very explicit where you're going with this.
Shit.
above table.
Where are
That's
you
not-
going with this?
Yeah,
I was
say,
trying to
above
word it.
table.
I was trying to word it in the way that she's like trying to imply that he's like it doesn't fit the position that he's in, and she just fucked it.
Oh god.
I was gonna say, yeah, let's try not to fucking Palpatine too many people to our side quite yet. We literally just arrived today.
I mean, she's trying to make allies, so if a shootout does inevitably happen, she's got somewhere to go.
Dodger,
That's fair.
I think that my friend is feeling a little. She's truth be told, what happened outside has affected her quite severe.
I don't even fucking remember what happened.
I know, sweetheart. I know. The point is, this is why we need to get to the med bay. You see, I want to make sure that she's okay.
Yeah, I can see that, but I don't think a few band-aids is gonna fix what you got going on.
I don't know what you mean, sir.
I heard everything that was being said.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
I'm tight.
Tried to mute in time, couldn't do it.
Bless
It's all
you.
right.
Bless
I'm also allergic to their bullshitting right now, Alec.
Motherfucker.
Wait, what? I heard everything that was being said. Is that what he said?
Yeah,
Everything that was being said?
I know what happened outside.
I don't.
Evidently. Some
What are they talking about?
poor sap, think you said he was Irish, got himself killed.
I never said he was Irish.
You're a smart man, Georgia.
I hear a lot.
Hmm.
You did say he was Irish outside of the room, so that kind of cues you into how good this guy's hearing is.
I didn't say he was Irish.
Yes, you did.
Did I?
You
Yeah.
did actually mention it very
Yeah.
briefly, yes.
I'm just imagining Dodger being like, join
Oh,
me
okay.
and we can rule the.
Rule Chicago.
In that case,
Chicago. God damn.
I do not remember. Okay, well, I think that would, Sylvie's reaction would be a little bit, did I say that? What that? Okay,
You two got some memory problems, huh?
Just for the last day or so. I need my memory.
the last day, Dodger.
Well, give or take, I guess.
Probably
Look,
need
I've
some
never
laudanum.
seen anyone actually die before.
Wait, what did Giorgio say?
Said you probably need some laudanum.
You know what laudanum is?
When you think I live under a rock?
No, I'm just surprised. You are full of surprises.
So join me.
I got a quick. I
Join me.
have a
I'll-
curious
I'll- sorry.
question, Mister. I have
That
a
was a
curious.
really good Palpatine impression.
Wait, who?
Alec.
Alec, yeah.
I've done it a lot.
Join me, Skywalker.
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah,
We will rule Chicago together.
I know it's kind of a little bit less than I promised, but I'm kind of on hard times. Hold down 2 mind gaps.
Shit's a little fucked at Chirac.
Like,
Listen, I'm in need of a bit of a loan.
I'm kind of a zombie, and they only dragged me back up because they had no idea what to do with the 3rd movie. It's like I made him a pirate. Anyway, let's get going.
Do you know what direction the bathroom is?
I've
Right, no,
Crabs. Go ahead.
What is happening?
Anyway,
Okay.
enough about Palpatine.
Myself
You-
back
I'm
into
sorry.
a
You were
seat.
prompting him. You were prompting him to
Okay.
give his last name. Becerra.
Mr. Becerra.
Passera with a P.
Becerra, my apologies. I was just wondering, how did a man of your intelligence come to work for a man like Mr. McGurn?
Money.
If you don't mind. Oh well.
And honestly, the speed of his response gets Eddie to smirk.
Yeah.
Really fucking
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
Sylvie just gives this look on her face of like, oh, we don't have any of that.
Oh well. I can't really say the same. She looks down at her old uniform like,
Well, you became a doctor because you like people?
no, I just wanted to prove something.
Living on spite.
Pretty much.
Aren't we
You
all?
know, that's why I became an actress too. Wanted to prove something.
Yeah, how's that worked out for you?
Well, I didn't foresee the dead rising, but it was working out pretty alright actually, sir. Thank you for asking.
Sylvie LaBelle.
That's me.
The one that was going to play Mina Harkin.
The very same.
I rolled and he got a 4. So I was just like, well, I guess because he knows who you
Hell
are.
yeah.
I'm meeting a lot more people that know Sylvie LaBelle than I thought I was going. When you said that
Four,
they
just
had
like-
to roll below a 5, I was like, there ain't no one in this city that's gonna know who I am.
Give me just one
Well,
second. Getting a
damn.
phone call. Role play amongst yourself or chit chat.
Well, damn,
Sister
cultured
to
and
Hannibal,
smart.
you live at this address. Your social security number.
I'm a really big fan.
Now, Dodger, you're being very judgmental.
I'm sorry, what? Hold up.
People that haven't been to the theater aren't uncultured. It's expensive. It can be expensive.
I've never been to a theater before. I've been operating one, but not an actual one.
You're a nurse practitioner, aren't you? You could afford it.
I could if I had time.
That's fair enough. You got plenty of it now. Shame there's not enough money or theater to go around.
It's a shame the theaters aren't running that.
Mm-hmm.
She does this kind of like weird joking smile, like she's trying to be funny.
He
Yes.
looks over at you and gives you like a very small smile, like, yeah.
Oh my goodness, your best friends. That's it. He's on board.
God.
Mission accomplished.
Let's not go updating our ally roster quite yet.
No, he definitely doesn't fucking like us.
It's hard to tell, honestly. Like he
Giorgio will remember that.
I remember this. So you're led down several flights of steps. Might be a little winded by the end of it.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So you're led to a door, and there's a hallway, and there's a bunch of beds in it, and people are laying in the beds in the hallway. And since a hotel infirmary was not meant to house this many people at once, Georgia would walk over and like knock on the door before opening it and holding it for a lot of you.
Is there a lot of people in here?
Yes, in the hallways there's about a dozen. Inside, the whole place has been sort of converted into a pretty much a glorified first aid tent.
Oh my god.
Oh, sweet lord, there's not enough space in here.
I think she's gonna turn to Georgia and go, none of them were bitten, were they?
Still checking.
Oh boy.
None of them are feverish, if that's what you're asking. Well, feverish in the way that you would think.
She's looking at Dodger to see if what Dodger does with this information.
Her eye is violently twitching because she's very worried. It's like...
No, you said your friend was running a fever. It was a feverish thing, right?
I would like to very much take a look at that man first, please.
Sure.
If you don't mind, we have time.
Yeah. He'd close the door behind a lot of you. Doctor's not in right now. He's taking a rest. He's getting pretty old. Can't really be on his feet this much anymore.
I can take over for a little while I'm here.
That would be ideal.
I'll try my best.
The heat in this room is high. Mostly just because of the sheer amount of people in here. There are 24 people, bed to bed, as close as they possibly can with giving them enough space. And they ran out of curtains at some point, and they pretty much stopped putting them up halfway down the hall. And you see there's a table nearby that's like kind of a nurse's station, and Georgia reaches over and grabs something that resembles a gun, but it's not quite a gun.
Is it something that I would be familiar with, or is it like
No.
Okay.
Not you.
That's not medical then.
Oh. Hold
No.
on a minute. I know Eddie wouldn't be, but Omni, I think, knows.
Yeah. He picks it up and he loads a cartridge into it.
Oh fuck! I know exactly what this is then.
Am I the only one that's lost?
I know what it is.
Yeah, you'll see in a second.
So he'd lead you over to this fellow that looks pallid. He looks almost greenish in hue, and he's breathing very rapidly, and he's perceptibly asleep, but he's having a very fitful rest, and he just gestures to him with this thing that he's holding in his hand. How does he look?
She'll she'll put her bag down, take it out and put on a pair of gloves, and then she'll go over and start examining the body. So, would you prefer a biology or well, yeah, it'd be biology over medicine, wouldn't it?
You know what?
Either or would be applicable in this case.
I'll do biology because she is trying to look for very specifically. She wants to, in her own mind, she wants to make sure this person's okay, but she also wants to study what the zombie virus actually does to people. So she's kind of using this as a sort of case study subtly.
Okay.
And that is a. Where's my character sheet gone? I think that's just a success. Yeah, it's just a success.
With regular success, this guy's on his way out. They've just been holding him, sort of like studying him for the most part, and probably at the request of people that care about him, they've been keeping him alive. He is, from what little you've seen of people turning, he is pretty much already there. He is gone.
Can I make an engineering roll, by the way, to identify that thing that he's holding?
Yeah, it'd be a little bit of a difficult roll. I'd make it a hard success since it's not directly related to engineering, but yeah, I'd let you.
That's fair. I figure like the only reason I'm saying this is because he's literally like he's just looking at the mechanism and putting two and two together.
Right.
Is there a visible bite wound?
Nah, don't worry about it.
Visible bite wound, no. He is covered up in a blanket. Oh, we lost Art.
No,
No.
it's still here. Oh.
Art's still here.
It disappeared for me.
Yeah, we still
we
see
can
him.
still...
Artie.
Red, can you hear us?
I can hear everybody. Okay.
Okay,
Art's
can
back.
you hear Art?
Oh, there we go.
I can hear
Yeah,
them.
probably just a glitch. VDO being
Just a
VDO.
little bit of a glitch.
That's good.
Yeah, sorry. So she asked if the person had a bite, was bitten.
So were you asking me or were you asking George?
She's asking Giorgio.
Okay. Be pretty sure he was bitten.
Would you mind showing me?
He like pulled the blankets back and showed that he had this sort of weird mangled area around his torso that has been turning quite black, almost gangrenous. It looked like more of a scratch, but you can't really tell. Maybe like the groove of teeth somewhere in there with your regular success.
Could I perhaps do a retry on a biology check because she wants to examine the bite specifically very, very closely to see if like the blood's coagulated or it's like got some like basically rotten, immediately started like being infected.
It's gangrenous. You don't need to make any further rolls. You know that it's gangrenous and that it's probably a bite.
Okay.
The veins around it have turned black and green and blue.
Would you mind if I took a sample of the blood here and she kind of looks around and to see if there's any sort of things that she can use, like I'm assuming like a microscope or something where she can identify what's in the blood. I'm not quite sure if I'm sure those existed in the 1920s, right?
There's it was probably a dish where you like scraped what you needed to into a dish to examine it further.
Mm.
So yeah, there's stuff like that.
Okay. I'm asking for his permission if he'll allow me to actually do it.
Yeah, he's just gesturing. You're the doctor.
Be careful, Dodger.
I'll be alright. He's not moving much. Yeah, and she'll take obviously she's not touching it with her hands, even with the gloves on, so she's got like I suppose it was the edge of a scalpel or something, and she's like scraping the bite mark gently.
Ah.
So she's being very precise, like there's like a lot of precision in her hand movements and the way she's like scraping it so she doesn't like nick a nerve.
Let me see here. Okay, so this person doesn't even seem to react to what you're doing.
Is he like properly tied down to the bed, or is he like free to move around?
He's loose.
Okay. Mr. Giorgio, while I'm analyzing this blood, I'm gonna have to ask you to do me one favor. Would you mind strapping this man down? Because if he does wake up, things are gonna get very messy down here.
As you're sort of explaining yourself, you hear this like low rolling grumble come from this guy's throat, like a gurgling.
Sylvie darts back
Grab
to the
him.
other side of the room.
This guy,
I think.
this guy shoots up, like immediately sits upright and like reaches out towards you, almost like this thing was lying in wait. And as it grabs you and it's about to like bite your fucking nose off, you just see this cylindrical shaped device get like wedged between the two of you, and you hear and he falls back on the bed, and just blood splatters all over the bed.
There is such a traumatized look that just came over Dodger's face.
I didn't know he was that bad. He'd eject the cartridge and just grab another one and reload it.
She's gonna take one of the gloves off and check her mouth to see if there's any blood got in her mouth.
No. Blood splattered out the back of his head.
Oh, the back. Sorry,
Yeah.
right. I thought
all
like,
over the blankets and the wall and stuff like that. And the blood was just, it wasn't the like rich color blood that you're like the rich bright colored blood. It had tinges of brown and black and even like pallid colors like gray, blues, and greens.
Okay. Well, now that we don't have that problem to deal with,
Well, you got a bunch on the wall you could take a look at now, I guess.
She's holding the dish like, I'm good. she's gonna go over the machine and start analyzing the blood and trying to decipher because she knows it's the blood that's causing it, but she doesn't know specifically what it is, and she would like to know.
Yeah, Giorgio would like to kind of do like the Catholic cross. Sorry, Benny.
Edward's gonna look up at Giorgio and sort of give him like this small nod. Triage is never easy, especially in conditions like these.
Putting somebody out of the misery is easy. Shooting somebody when they're shooting back at you is the hard part.
You're not wrong on that.
This, by the way, you'd hold this thing up because I see all of you eyeballing it. Called a bolt gun. Used to slaughter cows. Euthanize them.
Oh.
Doctor highly recommend that we keep one of these on hand, just in case something like that happens. I'm going to recommend that we go find some more straps, because we don't have harnesses for a hospital infirmary.
Okay,
That's a good idea.
my first piece of information for you, it's the bites. It's something in the blood, the transfer of fluids from the like saliva and stuff from the mouth seems to be causing this issue. I'm assuming it's some form of virus. At the rate it's infecting people, it's very fast. I'm gonna have a quick analyze of the sear sample and see if I can decipher if there's anything that can be done. I mean, this is a lot to take in. I'm sorry.
Take your time. Like I said, doctor's asleep right now, passed out from exhaustion. I found him on the floor, with a bruise on his head. I've been checking on him, dilated his eyes and all that. He's fine. Just conked out.
That's fine. If anyone else here has been bitten, I would highly suggest that you strap him down or try and do something.
He'd look down at his
Maybe
bolt gun.
That's not what I meant.
It seems pretty hopeless.
There's always a way. And she's sort of like, that's when she starts walking over to the thing to analyze it. God ain't fucking taking this one.
Benny got bit.
I would also like to point out that she did say that out loud. the God ain't taking this one.
I don't know how long ago Benny got bit, but he kept it pretty hidden until a couple of days ago where he fell over.
I haven't quite found exactly how fast the transformation is because I watched people turn in about 30 seconds compared to a few days. There's
so
a lot.
Transformation rate varies?
So far, I have once I figure out exactly what's in this here, the virus, I might be able to determine how quickly it changes people and how rapid it spreads. Just don't get any of the blood on in your mouth or in your eyes. Just be careful, is what I'm saying. I'm going full 28 days later on this one.
Right on.
Uh,
Full analytical examination.
She's gonna go for it and try and analyze the blood sample. Would you like me to do any sort of roll for it?
Yeah, make some sort of check that you can justify. This is going to take a while. This is part 1 of a project.
I'm either alright because I know it's my higher stat, but I think this is either chemistry or medicine.
Tell you what, we'll make a clock.
A clock?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Today we're going to learn what clocks are.
Okay.
That's something that's typically in Cthulhu, but I know.
Okay.
Let's see. So a clock
Mm.
is used a lot in Forged in the Dark games to represent how long it takes to complete a task.
Okay.
And I am going to set this clock at 8. Maybe not extra large. Maybe that's a little too thick. Okay. So the idea is it's going to take, if you roll a regular success, it fills 1 tick of the clock. If you roll a hard success, it fills 2 ticks of the clock. If you roll an extreme success, it fills in 3.
Okay.
And whenever the clock is complete, you have what you need. Failures do not set the clock back. They just don't do anything.
Okay.
I foresaw the idea of having to do stuff like this when you settle down for an apocalyptic game. So,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
if you'd like to make your first roll, this will represent the first hour.
Right. Do you want medicine or chemistry?
Um,
Probably medicine at first and then slowly move to chemistry, or the other way around.
yes.
We'll start with medicine. That's a good high skill to start with. Alrighty. That is 27. 1 second. That is a hard success.
Cool. Okay, so that'll fill in 2 ticks on the clock. We'll just scribble some pink in there. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, clock
start.
time. Okay. What are Eddie and Sylvie doing in the interim time?
Plotting, scheming,
Scheming.
reading.
Dubious little
Pretty-
deeds.
Practically speaking, now that Eddie knows what the railroad station looks like at a glance, 2 things got to happen in his mind. 1, we got to get close enough to actually clear it, or at very least take like a good look at the damn place so we can make sure, like, we're not going to go over there with the whole fucking work crew, open the doors, and like no trains be left in that place. So that's going to need to get put together. But before even that happens, and this is the thing he's really concerned about, he needs to know how many of Jack's boys actually know one end of a fucking socket wrench from the other. So we need to start looking for who might be intelligent enough to get that done. And honestly, Sylvie seems the smart sort of person who can help organize that. Or at very least, a smart sort of person that can manipulate people to help organize that. And Giorgio seems like the perfect kind of person for someone who's a smart person, like Sylvie, to manipulate into organizing that.
Listen.
So that's the plan.
Order of succession.
Sylvie doesn't do well under. No, she's just still fun.
Eddie's actually pretty good also with persuasion as well, so he's willing to help. But like manipulating people, that's not him. He's brute force about his psychological interactions. He's like, hey, this is what it is. This is what it isn't. You're gonna do what it is. You're gonna do what it isn't. I leave it up to you. But you know, you on the other hand, and Dodger seem to actually be able to, I don't know, fucking interact with humans somehow. I don't fucking get that, but I leave that to you.
Sylvie's just turning to Edward, just like, tell me what you need, I'll make it happen.
Oh.
I think he'd probably just chuckle. Well, first thing, I need to get a work crew together. I don't know who amongst Jack's crew would actually be skilled enough to be laborers, so need to find out who's not just intelligent enough but willing. I figure someone like Giorgio here would be willing to, was smart enough to arrange that. I certainly don't. But that'd be number one. I know we need to talk to Jack about all this, but I figure Jack doesn't want to be bothered with the basics, and if we can get some simple things done in advance, we can get that removed.
Jack specifically told us not to go and bother him again. I think it would be good if we left it at least a day or two.
It's fair. But at the very least, the sooner I can at least see who these people are, the sooner I can start actually making meaningful plans. The other alternative is seeing who will be able to take a closer look at the train station. And that's far worse. But every day we stand out here, I don't like our odds. We're lucky there's no one over in the train yard now. I wouldn't want to put my money on that staying that way.
Well, I don't know how much of the conversation you heard between myself and Jack, but after Dodger has finished doing what Dodger needs to do, and we have our medical supplies, we are going back out because I have a brother, and I need to make sure he's okay. And my friend, too. They're waiting for us back at the apartment. Now, my friend has hurt his leg, but I'm told by my good doctor friend here that it's recoverable very quickly. And they'll be good workers if you need help. They're good with guns, too. That'll be useful.
As long as they're smart enough to not strip pipes, that'll be helpful, but...
Jim is
He
very
pauses.
smart. My brother is... He is smart.
Your brother
in
is
certain
strong-willed.
situations.
Without looking up from the microscope, she just goes, "Your brother is very strong-willed."
My brother is very strong-willed, but he listens to what I have to say. Sometimes. Begrudgingly.
I saw that.
Well, that'll be enough, but it'll be a start. If you're heading out anyway, maybe I can convince Jack to see if we could swing by the train yard first. Or
If you
after
were
you
with
pick up your
us.
brother.
I would prefer that Dodger and I don't feel surrounded by so many of these strangers.
Well, if it's possible,
But
you
Jack
have my arm.
seemed very adamant that you should stay. I don't know if he'll change his mind about that.
Maybe we can find a way around it. I'm thinking about it, and if you need to go anyhow, and the doctor's going as well, as it is, the likelihood of us succeeding getting out to the train station is better with those people with us. And I imagine he's not keen on sending out too many people over and over. Maybe we can make this 2 for 1. Minimize risk, maximize reward. He might like that, if he thinks about it. And
You're a
like looks
numbers
over at
guy.
Dodger like in the, if he's the one who came up with the plan. Wink.
Dodger's just staring at this microscope. She is listening, but she's not looking at anyone. She's just like analyzing.
You can
the shit out of
practically
them.
hear the wink.
But do you know what? She gives you a sort of little side smile, so you can see that she is smiling. She's like,
All right. Well, I will help you. So let's see if we can find out how many of this crew can be a crew. I was wondering. She's going to turn to Giorgio. Are there books here? Is there a library or somewhere that perhaps we can do some research?
We got a lot of books, but we don't got a library.
Is there a room that they're held in, or are they just scattered around?
Kind of all over the place, unfortunately.
I just think that sometimes information about things like this might be held in. We might find something. I'll have a look.
There's a library downtown.
All right, I'll just pop on out. See you later.
we'll be back in a minute.
Is willing.
She'll just give him a she just scrunch up her face Maybe after we got my brother.
Yeah, he's sort of making the implication, just like, yeah, if you really want books that bad.
Head on downtown. Okay.
There's a guy that walks into the room, another mook that you recognize.
Is it the nice one, or is it?
No, it's the guy that was one of the guards that was standing outside the door about the tour thing.
Oh.
Got your chopper squad together. Let's roll out before it gets too late.
All right, my friend, and then Sylvia's gonna gesture to Dodger. She's analyzing. It was part of Jack's orders. He wanted her to begin to have a look at this disease that's going around and try and understand it.
Yeah,
She just
okay.
holds up her hand and says, like, she holds up like a gesture for like 3 or 4 minutes. She's like,
Down to the garage. Georgie, take them down to the garage as soon as she's finished. 5 minutes at the most. And then we're rolling out with or without you.
I suppose that gives me enough time to have a look.
Lol, good luck finding my brother without me, but okay.
They're not. There's the implication that they're not just.
Not say that out loud.
Right, but there is the implication that they are not just going out to look for your brother.
Hmm. They are doing other shit.
Oh, great. A road trip.
Cutting back over to the brother. You want to make a sanity check for me to start?
Absolutely.
Do you want me to make another check as well?
That is exactly. That's
Perfect.
Success.
Oh.
Success.
We'll make another check after you get back, Art, on the analyzation.
Okay.
I represent your first hour. So you take 1 point of sanity damage after a success as you sort of like wake up from all this, and you realize that was all triggered because you hit your head really hard when one of the stairs gave out, and you just kind of like landed underneath the stairwell, and now you're looking up at stairs that are kind of like going down.
I'm gonna take my lighter and like my mirror for a cigarette case and look and do I have like a bleeding wound, or is it just like I hit and knocked myself out and that's it?
You just bonked your head in a particularly good place.
Okay.
Ooh.
Just gonna.
I'll roll some damage here.
Don't worry, I'll look at it when you get here.
Take 1 point of damage.
Okay. I'm going to. All right. Come on. It's not real. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. It's fine. And I'm going to look around now. Where I'm looking, did I get turned around, or can I like where am I at essentially?
You realize that you are just like at the bottom of like the where you landed isn't like on like stone or like wood. You landed on like dirt, so you can tell the staircase was just sort of like built down to go deeper in, and you actually quickly find out that it's a tunnel, a very narrow tunnel.
Okay. Well, only one direction to go then in that case. And I'll follow the tunnel. I will light a new cigarette because I'm sure mine went out.
You follow this tunnel for what seems to be. You have no idea what time it is. You don't have any gauge of where you are, or what time it is, or how much time has passed. All you know is that you fell down, you conked out at some point, and now you're up and walking around a hole, and you can't really hear anything above you.
Is my watch broken?
I
mean, I just took a point of damage. I'd be fine if you said my watch was broken. I'm just asking.
That's fine. Yeah, we'll say your watch broke in the fall.
So, I'm going to. I'll keep the gun out, but I will do my little flashlight trick. Like I said, the lighter in the cigarette case, so that I can keep following the tunnel. Like I said, Hannibal is at a point of the only direction I have is to go back to hell or just keep going forward and hope I get into something else. I got to get back to the street so I can find Sophie.
Okay. And you're walking down for what seems to be anywhere between several minutes to an hour. You have no idea how to gauge time passing in this particular case. Sort of just disoriented. But you eventually make it to another staircase.
Can I hear anything up the stairs?
No, nothing's immediately perceivable.
So then, in that case, I'm just gonna just walk up. I'm gonna be very careful and make sure I'm testing this like if I hear like the wood like creaking or being like I feel like it has the potential of giving out again, like this staircase. Then I want to make sure I don't have a fall like I did last time. So I will carefully go up the stairs, but I'm just gonna keep pressing ahead.
Yeah, you feel them kind of creak underneath your feet, but these ones seem to be in better condition for whatever reason. Maybe less rainwater was getting to them, you're not sure. But they're in better condition. They can sort of creak as you reach the top, and there's another wooden door.
This I'm going to listen again.
You put your ear to the door, and you're going to make a listen check. Oh, wow.
Extreme success.
You hear people talking on the other side, and they're sort of chit-chatting about the whole situation. About everything going on, about a weird figure.
Now, how do you think Alexander's going to react to this when they finds out that they took that truck full of supplies that we've been eyeballing?
Boy, I don't know what we're going to do about none of that. All we're going to do is tell them some sort of big made-up lie. Somebody came in, started alerting all the rotters around, and then stole the truck. Simple as that. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, what about that? What about that feller that's running around, shooting and alerting all the rotters?
I don't know nothing about him. Just know that he's wearing a mask and running around being some sort of vigilante. I don't know what he thinks he's doing. But all he's doing is stirring them up and getting them all pissed off.
I'm going to lean down so that I'm not like normal standing like eye level with the door. And I'm going to slam my fist into it very loud. I'm going to call out, I'm a living person on the other side of this door. And I'm going to open it. Y'all going to let me in. You understand me?
What the hell? You just hear them sort of like murmuring to themselves.
There's a door there?
one of them is just sort of say. And you hear this lot like, boy, you can try to come in, but I don't reckon you're going to get through.
I think who you work for will be very upset if you don't help me then.
What are you talking about?
Well, you want to know about that masked man, and you want to know what to tell Alexander, right? Let me in. If this door is blocked, you better unblock it right now.
Come on, Lewis, unlock the damn thing. And you hear this like loud scraping of wood on wood, like there's crates blocking this thing and pallets.
All right, you can come in, but no funny business now.
I have a gun in my hand, but I'm not going to use it if I don't see any reason to use it. You understand me?
Well, we got guns in ours too. Man, would you shut up, Lewis?
And be like, I don't want this to be tense. I want us to be friendly. But I ain't putting mine away until I know there's no reason to use it. You understand me now? And I'm going to Open the door like that. I'm so crouched in case like they take a shot as soon as I open the door.
Yeah. Trained on the door is a Remington shotgun, and like you see, like older man with like sort of tufts of hair sticking out of his head. He's got a thinning hairline up top, and he's got these sort of jowls. He's a bit portly, and he's just like kind of hunched over this shotgun. And there's a younger man who's tall, thin, and sort of scrawny, and he has what appears to be a hunting rifle, and he's kind of got it underneath his arm like this.
I'm gonna have it, and I'm gonna point my own 1911 back at them. Look, just saying things being the way they are in the world. Tensions are high, but I don't mean neither of you any harm. I just want to get to my sister. And I heard y'all talking about a truck. I know more information about that truck. And I can help you if you help me. You understand me now?
They look between each other.
So you know how we're gonna find the truck?
I know.
Well, the only reason we hadn't been going over there is because we were afraid about that woman.
My friend Fiona ain't never heard nobody.
Was she your friend now?
It says you like kind of lifted the gun a little bit, and you could tell this guy's clearly just some dipshit racist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's a very good friend of mine. In fact, she's a kind of friend I would kill over if I had to.
You gonna make some sort of intimidation check?
That fucking gun at me. And can I just do a handgun check?
Are you gonna shoot him?
No. Well, okay. I'll do intimidate if that's
Yeah.
44.
The young man sort of like steps back and backs down. Well, now I don't need to kill over. Nothing needs to happen over just a woman like that. Ain't worth the trouble.
Now, there's a lot of supplies in that truck. Plenty to go around. So like I said, you help me, I'll help you. Since I'm so good friends with Fiona, I'm sure I can convince him to share. Understand me? I need to get to my sister. Y'all need to get to that truck. Those things can be arranged. Understand?
The young scrawny guy with scraggly blonde haircut would look over at the older guy, and the older guy would kind of nod. What'd you say your name was, son?
And I'm going to hold the gun up and then put it away in my shoulder holster. My name is Hannibal Riggs.
Willie. And that's Louis.
Willie? Louis? I think if we can get to Fiona, get to my sister Sylvia, this will be just the beginning of a beautiful friendship. You understand me?
Sure.
But I don't reckon Alexander's gonna like that.
What Alexander don't know, don't hurt him. And,
Well, Alexander's the voice of God in this situation, and I reckon we should listen to him as much as we possibly can, because he's been our only salvation thus far. And if that means cutting out people that ain't who he says to be God's chosen children, then I say, so be it.
And you completely understand what he is implying by saying,
Mhm.
not God's chosen children.
I understand. Yeah, I think you and me are going to get along just fine.
Okay. That's where we're going to end the session.
Second.
That does.
Whew.
Kill him. just,
Wait, who said kill him?
I just saw cats.
Cat. Come on, now.
I didn't say it. I typed it.
Oh.
Perfect.
So it's libel, not slander. Okay. So
Never said that.
Motherfucker.
make sure you
What
guys.
I'm saying is, if we need an NPC to expend,
We've got plenty of them.
we have. because Giorgio and I are friends.
Yeah, Giorgio's not so bad.
No, Giorgio's great. I like Giorgio.
Yeah, he's a great meat shield.
Machine Gun Jack's pretty high on the list.
He's a great meat shield.
I know how you people think.
What are you talking about? I'm just a low.
I know what you did in
Making my way.
Cyberpunk. I was there for all 13 fucking episodes of it.
Hey.
I know how you people
We
operate.
tried very hard to keep everyone alive in Cyberpunk, and you were the one that killed everything.
Couldn't be
I
me, bro.
have never done anything wrong in my life.
Alec, would you like to
Oh,
start
you
the shout outs or like the outros? Or?
I gotta hit it. So, this has been awesome. It's nice that I survived yet another day.
I'm so shocked.
This is, I believe, the longest I've gone in one of Red's games without dying.
Somehow.
That's correct. We're
Episode
on episode
6.
6. Yep.
Oh, Jean-Pierre is not there to keep you safe anymore.
Anyway, I am a pro game purveyor of all things homebrew. I actually find me on Twitter, Instagram, other social media places, Alec_Sam. Check out my Ko-fi for all my homebrew that I post, which is a ton of it. Outrageous amount of 5e homebrew. Right now, my biggest thing that I'm working on is I am working on my own system called Spliced. It is a settingless system that allows you to basically take any place and story you want to tell, as long as it's about people trying to overcome overwhelming odds and risking their own sanity and humanity while doing it. So keep an eye out for more of that. I had the first couple of APs of that. I'm planning another one coming up soon. So more details as that develops, and the system itself should be out later this year is the goal.
Hell yeah, man. Very excited about that. I'm very excited to eventually play in a Spliced game.
Same.
Big Bioshock fan, and I know that was a lot of your inspiration behind it. I fucking love Bioshock.
Yeah, big inspiration.
So, yeah. Very, very much appreciate you. Appreciate your one-liners. Appreciate your acting, as always. And your decorum and sense of humor. So, thank you. Who do I pick on next? Alec, I'll let you pick.
On me.
Hello, everyone. I'm the last Omnitech, your favorite robot American, and I'm not missing that beat. I'm here on Twitch, on my own channel, twitch.tv/thelast_Omnitech. I do world building, art streams, and rule smithing, and I do that on my own channel on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, usually at 10:30 a.m. EST. I'm also currently running a total of 3 TTRPG games. I run Wild Skies Botanium, my lighter-than-air Pathfinder 2e game, on my Twitch channel. I run my Legacy Storytelling the World Tomorrow system that I've been working on for 20 years, and a stream called Legacy First Flight. That one's going to be on DMDM Studios, and the other one would be Mouse Guard the Frontier, using the Mouse Guard role-playing system. We're doing that every other Wednesday, and that is going to be also on DMDM Studios. And, of course, you can find me here with the illustrious Red, who's an amazing GM and a really awesome dude.
Hell yeah.
And I've built worlds with him, played in basically all his games, and I continue to do so. I'm super excited to do so. And that's me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I hand it over to you, Red, to decide who the next person is. Unless you want me to pick who we're going to
I want you to pick. We're going to do popcorn-style outros.
Already suffered.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday to you!
Best till
Happy
last.
birthday, Artie.
So, hello.
Damn,
I am Artemis. I am still bad at this. I've always been really bad at talking about myself. Where am I right now? Okay, right. I started streaming again. I now do every second Monday, but except this, let me start that again. I was originally doing every second Monday, but I'm upgrading it to every Monday because the people finally picked a game for me to continue playing, and that game is Demon Souls. So I'm essentially going to run the rest of probably the next year and a half of playing through all the Souls games from Software. Yeah, that's my life every Monday on my channel at 7 o'clock UK time. I might even throw in some music here and there, but I currently don't have any plans to release any more music currently. Yeah,
But
that's
check out
me.
our old music.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I have old music. It's on SoundCloud. It's
On
under the same name.
SoundCloud, we don't just like take the pieces that you already created and discard them as if they're nothing.
I do. I keep talking about this, but I am after the next month gonna really look into putting it on Spotify, which where I will actually make money from just people streaming it over and over. So that'll be nice. I can actually make money from my music again.
Hell yeah.
Keep an eye on my Twitter for that one. I don't have anything else much to say.
Oh, thank you. Art. Happy birthday to you. And Art doesn't know
Happy
yet. We're gonna be doing an
I'm-
art trade here in a little bit.
I'm too old for this shit now. Officially too old for this shit.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Oh, shut the
Okay.
fuck up.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, please.
Sorry, that
I
came out.
just turned the big 3-0.
Oh
Shut
god.
up. Shut
Art, you and I are the youngest people here.
I know. I just
I'm the
wanted
youngest
to...
people here by 7 years.
Jesus
Yep.
Christ.
Yeah.
I feel nauseated.
So Omni and I are just like.
Yeah, I know. Me and Alec over here like Ozymandias over the fucking desert sands, just staring upon your words.
Yes.
Last but not oldest, Cat.
Oh well, that's something. Hi, I'm Kat, otherwise known as the Law Mistress or Law Mistress 93. I've been sitting here this whole time thinking, what am I? What am I doing? I am currently in the middle of, well, not in the middle of, but beginning the process of co-designing a game with Hatchling Games, Rich of Hatchling Games. We are co-designing Argonaut, which is sci-fi take on Greek mythology, and anyone who knows me knows that mythology is my jam. So that's why I'm on board. So there's that. Very excited about jumping into that product. I just finished up some stuff for, and I feel like I should talk about it because I just finished up stuff for it. For Vinestra, which is going to be a 5e and Pathfinder setting, and I'm very excited. I wrote some encounters for that, but there's like 5 books coming. It's ridiculous. So keep an eye out on Kickstarter for that, and please go and check out the Kickstarter. It's just called Vinestra, and you can follow Giles as well, who is the main designer for it. What else am I doing? Next week, I'm going to UK Games Expo. And
Hell
I'm
yeah.
going to be walking around it and going to people's stalls and meeting people. So if anyone else is going, I know that probably we've got a lot of the old Americans in here. But if anyone is popping by to the UK represent, then please let me know, because I'm going to be there all 3 days. So I will find time to come and say hello. And it's going to be really, really fun. And I'm very excited. It's going to be my first ever convention where I go and stay with people, and it's gonna be fun. What else am I doing? I'm also gonna start streaming. I've been working on Theros stuff. So Theros season 3, we're working on it. It's in the pipeline. I've started getting NPC art, and I'm very excited. I'm going to also be streaming on Girls Run These Worlds during the month of June. I'm going to be doing a Pride one-shot for Under Hollow Hills. That's in the process of being organised. And I'm also going to be streaming an actual play series that's going to be kind of based around cryptid horror. So very like SCP Foundation, Siren Head, maybe a little bit of Last of Us. It's going to be a lot of stuff. But that's going to be on Sundays. But I will get the details of that when I have that properly. But yeah, plenty on its way. But just in this very moment, I feel like I'm very quiet and doing nothing. But I'm not. Yeah, and that's me.
Thank you, Kat. You're a delight. I very much appreciate you showing up and being here in the session, and also just having a wonderful costume. Just like the feather, I just can't get over the feather plume.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah. It just makes it. It just makes it. I normally have a fur coat on, but I had to take. It's too hot. I'm too hot. It's
I'm in
too
the
much.
opposite problem. I had to pull something on because the AC's been going all day. And
I'm-
it's blowing right the fuck on me this
I'm-
whole time.
Too much for me today. So I'm not normally a person that runs hot as well. So this is very unusual for me. But
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you very much. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning into the stream. I know it's been a bit since we've done it, but scheduling things always fuck things up. What else? What do I want to say before we go? I'm going to be live again. I don't know when I'm going to be live again, actually. It's going to be a little bit. I'm going to have pretty much the next week off, essentially. I might stream some Magic. I'll see how I'm feeling. I might just stream random stuff. There's games that came out that I kind of want to stream. Chill out. But keep an eye out because I do have a game coming up eventually on alternating Mondays, probably next month or so, called Band of Blades. I have Omni here as a part of that. We have Omni. We have... trying to remember everybody off the top of my head. Dylan Herbst. We have Soul's Rolls. We have Elise, my partner, my wonderful partner, and an amazing artist, and John. I'm very excited to have the 5 of them. And I said Omni, right? I said Omni.
I was the
I
first.
did. Okay,
Good.
so yeah, I got everybody.
Omni was the first.
Gang's all here.
Ego fed. I'm good.
Gang's all here. But that's going to be very similar to this game. Very tense. Very high messed up situations. If you like zombie apocalyptic stuff, yeah. Also, be keeping an eye out for me eventually. I did not know this, but there is a Walking Dead tabletop role playing game that I'm going to eventually.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So excited about that. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw it, I thought of you immediately.
I'm just saying, I have all the compendiums on my shelf over here. I love The TV show sucks ass, but I love the comic book so much. So I'm eventually going to be running that. You guys know I like zombie stuff. So,
Freaking the
Art
fuck
looked
out.
like they just wanted to throw up there when you said that. That was a visceral reaction. You were
I'm a huge zombie fan, and I hated the TV show.
most people do.
I
So-
love everything zombies, and I hated it.
It was just bad.
Anyway.
But I'm trying to think what else. Book is eventually coming. The entirety of the book is written. I'm just waiting on art and stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Check me out on Twitter if you wanted to see what anything that I'm doing. I have a link tree that you can find all my stuff on. Coffee. I got a Patreon if you wanted to support me doing. It's probably going to be about monthly proxies now, just so I can put some more effort into them for Magic the Gathering. And yeah, I appreciate you guys very much. I'll keep you updated. And thank you. And have a good day, a good evening, whatever it is for you.
Goodbye, my friend.
Bye.